Oil spill by BP has left tar balls all over the sea. So don't go swimming down in the south unless you want tar balls in your mouth. Balls in your mouth, balls in your mouth. Don't swim in the ocean, you'll get balls in your mouth. Balls in your mouth, balls in your mouth. Don't swim in the ocean, you'll get balls in your mouth. Balls in your mouth, balls in your mouth. Don't swim in the ocean, you'll get balls in your mouth. Balls in your mouth, balls in your mouth. Swim in the ocean, you'll have balls in your mouth. Balls in your mouth, balls in your mouth. Don't swim in the ocean, you'll get balls in your mouth. Balls in your mouth, balls in your mouth. Don't swim in the ocean, you'll get balls in your mouth. Balls in your mouth, balls in your mouth. Don't swim in the ocean, you'll get balls in your mouth. Balls in your mouth, balls in your mouth. Don't swim in the ocean, you'll get balls in your mouth. Balls in your mouth, balls in your mouth. Don't swim in the ocean, you'll get balls in your mouth. Balls in your mouth, balls in your mouth. Don't swim in the ocean, you'll get balls in your Okay, 2 weeks in a row, he's been messing with you. And if he messes with you, he messes with me. Okay? You know, Foley has never liked me ever since I met him, and now he's trying to take it out on me by taking it out on you. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it is ridiculous. A steel cage match 6 days before Clash of Champions. Unbelievable. You know, he's had it out for me since the day I won the WWE Universal title. You know, he's making me jump through all these hoops to justify his existence as general manager, because even he knows he's useless. He's rotten. You know, he's abusing his power. He has no idea. You know what I'm going to do? What? Give me this. I'm going to make a list of everything Foley has done wrong as general manager. I'm going to show it to him. And you know what? When I show it to him, he's not going to like it. Get out of that way!
If you like Horror Night from 2 years ago on Movie Internet Channel, USA.com and YouTube.com, you type in Horror Night, I'm gonna get her. Oh yeah, me Rottweiler. Oh yeah. That's on Movie Internet Channel, USA.com. Just click Horror Night, and on YouTube.com, just type in Horror Nights. Sarah killing Sam, oh yeah. Horror Night Part 2 coming out October 1st at 12 midnight. Movie Internet Channel, USA.com front page, and YouTube.com, just type in Horror Night Part 2. Starring Serenity Rose, Commodore Rosati, Danielle and Karen Quick, James Buddy Love Herring, Jerry Truman, Vinny the Booch, Bucci, and Sonny Bucci.
Hey, honey, how was it today?
Okay, how was it going?
One day at work.
I'm doing fine.
What's the deal?
We're going to go out. I don't think we'll get ready.
Sure.
Oh!
Good job done. Good. Very good.
Do you see her? What is she doing here?
What? What are you talking about?
The ghost of Lena.
Hey man, I'm gonna head out tonight. Just take a shower first real quick. Get ready, dress out.
I don't think so.
Wait, what? Why? You're my brother. You're my deceased brother. Why'd you do this? No!
Rottweiler will be free by work.
And Joe Bag, starring as Mayor Gage.
This is Mayor Robert Gage, here in my office, in one of the many fine cities of Massachusetts. I advise all viewers to go home.
Yeah, I got the money. I got the money being away. I got the money being away there. Ooh, can't wait to spend it. Don't don't know what I'm gonna be doing with my tips.
Here's him, and starring the late Vincent Mayor Buddy CNC.
All right, more details on the infamous Killer Rottweiler on the Buddy CNC show next, so stay tuned.
Horror Night Part 2 coming out October 1st at 12 midnight. Movie Internet Channel deals.com from page and YouTube.com. That's Horror Night Part 2.
What's up? Boochcast fans, listeners across the internet, radio waves. This is Vinny Bucci, a.k.a. the Booch, and this is that time again. Once again, yet again for the Boochcast. What's up, everybody? It is Friday, September the 23rd, 2016. It is high noon, and it is our last show before we go away for the weekend. That's right. This is the big show that we got coming up today. And if me sleeping naked in my hammock bothers you so much, maybe you should just go to a different yard sale. And on that note, we're off to a different yard sale. And so, interesting way to start off the show. And of course, we are excited for another big Friday show that we got planned. And this is actually kind of a historic show because for the third week in a row, which has never happened on the history of this show, my co-host is once again in studio. And if you're watching on YouTube, you're going to notice a little something different about my co-host today. And we're going to talk all about that. And of course, he is the main Friday guy here on the Boochcast. He is a singer-songwriter. He is a groundsman. He has a great mind for wrestling, and we got plenty of wrestling articles we're going to get into today. And, of course, I'm going to let him share his major, major transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Boochcast, Desmond.
Hey, Vinny.
Hey, what's up, bro?
It shines.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. If you saw the post, the picture on Facebook, and if you're watching on the YouTube video right now, Desmond has decided to join the club, and he has now shaved his head completely bald. So if you think you're seeing double, you're not. It's two completely different bald-headed people. So
trust me, nobody's thinking they're seeing double. They got a good-looking one on this side, and then there's that.
Suplex City, whatever. But anyway, so Desmond, I guess the big question is, why the transformation?
Honestly, I have a receding hairline. Thanks, Dad. And I have a good shaped head. It's just better to boom,
okay,
and keep it looking good.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm not going to have the full fucking Costanza. Fuck that shit.
All I'm going to say is this. You were more quicker to make that decision than I was. I was still stubborn with the head shaving thing. Like, you know, because my hairline was receding, and apparently it was obvious to everyone except for me.
Vinny, I'm going to say this as nicely as I can. Your hair never receded. It went into full fucking retreat. And he's known me back when I had hair, so he can make that assumption. So basically, my hair was retreating. None of y'all decided to tell me anything. We didn't realize we had to. You get up in the morning, you go to the restroom, you look in the mirror, you notice something's missing.
Apparently my hairline was retreating. Nobody said anything to me. So the regular guys were, of course, the first ones to point that out to me. And then for weeks, Larry and I would have this constant battle where he wanted me to shave my head and I did not want to do it. Because Larry basically had to explain to me, because Larry is bald himself, that bald was no longer a shameful look. It's the new cool look now. That people like bald men now. It's an acceptable trend.
That's arguable. It depends on if you've got the bald spot. that is not popular.
Yes.
If you've got the Costanza or the Hogan,
Yes.
no good.
Hogan.
The Hogan is worse than the fucking mullet. I'm just saying.
Because at least with the mullet, there's still hair on top of the head. He's just got the rings of Saturn rocking over here.
Right. All right. If you're bald by choice, it is completely acceptable. That is a manly look. If you're bald because your hair just said "fuck you," and it's you got this thing right here, and you spot you around the side. Okay, let's be honest here. I know. George Carlin said, he's like, if a white man wants to be bald, do what he did, just wait a few years. But that's not good looking no more.
Yeah. Might have worked in his time, but we're good now. But the thing is, so for weeks, Larry wanted me to shave my head, and I wouldn't do it. Until here's the way he got me to shave my head was WrestleMania Access. Because right around the time that I joined the show was when WrestleMania came to Atlanta 5 years ago.
Right.
So one of the things is at WrestleMania Access, where they have all the stuff you can go around and take out at the Georgia World Congress Center. Well, in the morning before they set everything up, and this is on a Friday, and this only happens one day, all the media shows up. Like that's when the international people come in and they interview people, and all the radio stations come out with their own booths, and then the selected wrestlers walk to each booth and get an interview. In fact, towards the end, when everybody had already left, I stayed with Tim Andrews and I think Seabass for a couple minutes because we were trying to see if we can get The Rock, because you saw The Rock walking around. Mm-hmm. But we found out later The Rock was not talking to the radio people. He was just talking to the TV cameras and everything. So then we eventually packed up and left. But we were hoping, and it was just going to be me one-on-one with The Rock, because everybody else had already left. Like Tim and Seabass would have been there to back me up to get the technical stuff, but they were going to let me just talk to The Rock. But he ended up leaving. But anyway, after all this happened, so we're at Access, and Larry says and we got our booth, and we're talking a little bit while we're waiting for a wrestler to show up. Because we kind of just do our segments and our thing, and then a wrestler comes in, and we talk to him. So sometimes we might be waiting a while for a wrestler to come in. So we got to have backup stuff. So he eventually tells me, thank you for the whistling. So we sit down, and Larry says he opens up and he pulls out a handheld buzzer, like a battery-operated buzz cut thing. He says, Booch, for weeks I've been trying to get you to shave your head. And I said, yeah, for weeks I've been telling you I ain't doing it, Larry. So I don't know why we're still having this talk. So anyway, he said, I know, but I think I want to make you an offer that I think you can't refuse. And I'm like, all right, let's hear it. He said, obviously you don't want me to shave your head. How about the wrestler shave your head and sign it? Would you be open to that opportunity? I thought about it for maybe good 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Yeah, let's do this. I was in. And that's how my head got shaved. And it's still there today. WWE Superstar shaved the Booch. Wade Barrett, before he was Bad News and King. Wade Barrett shaved right there. Santino over here. Christian right here. Drew McIntyre jackassed me where he went like in the Jackass movies. Mm-hmm. That hurt like hell. The Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart was right there. And then we closed out with Shawn Michaels. So each of them shaved off a chunk of my head and signed it with a blue Sharpie marker.
You should have went straight to a tattoo parlor and got all of that tattooed on.
I seriously considered that, but my parents would have killed me.
I would have been, if I were you, I could have lived with that.
You could have. You would have got the names tattooed into your head.
Look, at that point, it's like what? Worst case scenario, you grow the hair back out, nobody sees it anyway.
Yeah. Well, I heard that if you did tattoo it, you couldn't grow the hair back out. Someone told me that.
I'm pretty sure you have to keep shaving it, or you have to find a way to keep the hair from growing.
Oh. So the hair would still cover it if it grew out?
I'm still growing hair on my chest here.
Okay. All right. I'm just asking. I didn't know. Nobody told me that. But I remember thinking like, oh God, my parents are going to kill me. And it was funny because at one point in the conversation, because everybody thinks that when you do something crazy, that's your first instinct. So, and one person said, he said, Booch, you're in your 20s. You're worried about, he said, Booch, you're in your 20s. Your parents can't ground you. I said, who said anything about being grounded? I ain't going to be grounded. I still have to listen to this. Some people don't understand. When you live at home with your parents, they don't have the authority to ground you. but you can still get yelled at for shit. You know, you live with these people. You still have to hear their wrath. People, but they just can't really punish you.
Well, I most definitely know all about that. I came in here a few weeks ago and
yeah. So my point is,
your mom tear you a new one.
Exactly. So, but there was no you're grounded. There was no, no allowance for a week. None of that shit. But I still had to hear some drama. It's just that the only difference is I hear the drama and then it goes away. So that was my whole point. And then Eric was like, okay, that makes a little bit of sense. Because I was like, no, who said anything about being grounded? You can't ground me. I have car keys. You can't ground somebody that has keys to a car. I'll leave the house.
It's like, what are you worried about? They're going to grab you? I didn't say that. I said they're going to kill me.
Yes.
You will never see me again.
But luckily but I lucked out. Because my mom, not only did my mom enjoy it, she blew up pictures of it and put it in her library. She's showing people, as the regular guys are posting it to Facebook. My mother is showing the students my head being shaved. As I left the World Congress Center, because we all kind of drove in separate cars and everything, my phone rings. It's my dad. And I'm just like, I remember looking at the phone and I'm just like, Holy Mary, Father Grace. I did the Holy Mary, Father Grace. Hallowed be thy name. And I just call and I hit answer and I go, hello? And my dad goes, what the fuck is wrong with you? He's like, dude, this is fucking hilarious. But when he said, what the fuck is wrong with you? He said it like as a friend would say it.
Like he's laughing his ass
off. He's like, dude, this is fucked up. But he loved it. He didn't care. Like none of them cared that I did that. Like my mom's like, no, I thought it was hilarious. Are you kidding me? That was the funniest thing I've ever seen. And then of course it turned out the bald look did work for me. So they were right. I looked better bald. And now it's been 5 years and I've adjusted to it now. So, but it was, I had that like fear because I liked my hair. Like I was the kid that put that slicked the hair back. I used to get like hair gel and slick the hair back every day before I left the house.
Well, you have to realize I'm the kind of person that senior year of high school, I had hair down to my shoulder blades and a full fucking beard. I was Jesus boy. All right?
Yeah.
Like you could have taken a picture of me in a robe and people would be like, is that Jesus? No, that's Desmond. He's just being an idiot. You know what? I loved my long hair the first time around. Then I shaved it for the military, which I never actually ended up going into. I enlisted, just never went to boot camp, and I got what's the term I'm looking for? I got discharged. It wasn't medical. It was not dishonorable. It was not honorable. It was just a regular, out of blue discharge.
Like you just didn't get in.
Yeah, they just let me go.
Okay, that's fair.
There was nothing dishonorable about it. And I literally, if you were to look up my military record, it would show that I enlisted, but it wouldn't have anything else about it. I have no time served, no nothing with them.
Yeah.
So anyway, I didn't do a full shave like this, but I cut it real short.
Yeah.
And then when I got out, I grew my hair back. And at that point, in that year or so that I had my hair short, I hadn't realized how much my hair had thinned out. Like I used to have really thick, like it was beautiful hair.
Yeah.
All right. And it's like pictures of me back in high school. My hair was down to here. It was nice and pretty, and
yeah.
I had that hair that girls were jealous of. Let's put it this way: when I was 17, my first long-term girlfriend. She's like, she would sit there. I would lay back against her, and she'd be playing with my hair, saying, "It's not fair."
It's not fair
because I didn't have to do anything to it. I barely brushed it. It just happened to fall pretty. I was like, all I did. I'd do a quick little brush to get the knots out of it, and I was done.
Okay.
Every now and then, I'd put it into a ponytail.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like that was how good my hair was in high school.
Yeah.
Then I shaved it off, and I grew it back out after the military thing. And my hair was, it was still decent, but my hair definitely thinned out. It wasn't as thick. It still had the nice curls in it.
Yeah.
But you could see that it was thinning out, starting to look stringy. And it eventually got to a point where I cut it again for a job, and I decided at that point that my hair no longer looked good enough to grow it back out again.
Yeah.
And it's not. I loved my long hair. I did. But at the same time, I knew that I didn't want to look like Shawn Michaels does right now.
Oh, yeah, Shawn Michaels.
That's not bashing Michaels. Michaels used to have fucking phenomenal hair.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But
they call him HBK for a reason.
He's getting old.
Yeah.
He was just lucky that his hair didn't start doing that shit until he was like 40.
Yeah.
Mine started doing that at like 23.
It would be weird to see Shawn Michaels with short hair.
My hair was fucking receding. I was like, I had thin hair at fucking 20 years old. Thin at 20. And then the recedings really started to show when I was about 22.
Yeah.
And so that's when I said, I'm just going to keep it short. And now I've got to the point where it's like it was receding, and I'm just sitting here like, nuh-uh. Where's CM Punk? I'll join the Straight Edge Society. Come on. Like Gallows and Anderson, I got the beard and no top hair. I can join y'all.
Yeah, exactly. And that was weird that and I love the fact that he made the other people shave their heads, but he never shaved his head.
Well, that's because he was the leader. He needed something to show that they were loyal to him.
Yeah.
That they were determined and they were what's the term I'm looking for? They were committed to the cause. He knew he was committed to the cause. He was the leader.
Yeah, exactly. That makes sense because I love the fact that Rey Mysterio, like Rey Mysterio and him had like a mask versus hair kind of thing going on, and then eventually Punk had that luchador mask on temporarily until it finally came off and we saw that he was bald, and like then of course he got short hair after that, and okay, and I just got a text message from Queen Mahogany. She told me that my promo code is active, so I can start promoting the show. So I'm just gonna check something here real quick. Let me see. Promo code. Your invite code. You can begin promoting your invite code. It's active. Okay. She did not send me the invite code. So
probably on your account.
Huh?
It's probably on your account.
Yeah.
What's this for?
This is for a comedy show I'm going to be doing next Saturday.
You not have an account with them, like an online account thing?
None that I'm aware of. Let me see.
That might be a problem then.
Yeah, so let me just see something here. Comedy participation. Promo code is active. Okay. Well, as of right now, I don't have the promo code with me, so I'll have to look that up after the show. But I will post it online. You can find me on Facebook.com/Vince Bucci, VinceBucci, on Twitter @Vince Bucci, VinceBucci. By the way, if you're wondering why it's Vince, it's because when I first started doing stand-up, I went as Vince and I changed it to Vinny after the regular guys show because they kept calling me Vinny so much. So that's why I changed to Vinny. So I used to go as Vince in the beginning because I like that better. But anyway, my point is while I don't have the promo code on me yet, wait, hold on. Let me see here. Be sure to enter VINCE. And let me see. And be sure to enter Vincent Bucci 5-digit invite code correctly. All ages must be and up. Hold on. Okay. It says buy your tickets here and be sure to enter Vincent Bucci 5-digit invite code correctly.
You might need to send her a text and say, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to need this, but it's on the mahoganyroots.com, and I have my own link. So it says featuring Vincent Bucci. She put Vincent, which Desmond's smiling because he knows I hate being called Vincent. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. That is one name I do not like to be called. Why? Because A, it's way too professional. The only people I allow to call me Vincent is like if I'm in court, then they can say Vincent, or if I'm at a job interview, they can say Vincent, or when I was in school and I would get my diploma, they said Vincent Anthony Bucci, and I went and got my diploma. So I allowed that. But, and of course, teachers on the first day of school would say Vincent, and I'd say I go by Vince, and then they'd write that down. So, and then they knew to call me that. So anyway, like I said, I don't have the 5-digit invite code. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna have to have Mahogany explain that to me after the show. But what I can tell you is where the show is going to take place. So you can mark the date on your calendar, and I will post the promo code to my Facebook page, my Twitter page, and the Boochcast Facebook page. Facebook.com/the Boochcast, TheBoochcast. But the show will be taking place next Saturday night, and it will be at the Spice Bistro. Come check out the Spice Bistro. It's at 2857 Buford Highway, Atlanta, Georgia, 30329. Okay, so I'll say that one more time. Spice Bistro, 2857 Buford Highway, Atlanta, Georgia, 30329. So mark that on your calendar. You can come see me perform next Saturday night, and you can make sure you check out the show. And of course, once I get this 5-digit promo code of which she speaks, I will then give you guys the 5-digit promo code so you can enter in and hopefully get a discount on your tickets. And on that note, speaking of comedy, I will bring something up, something real exciting. Yesterday, I'm happy to announce that I did, in fact, go to what was I going to say?
Hey, Heath Slater's finally got his above ground pool done.
Oh, wow. Heath Slater got the above ground pool, and he's sitting there with the tag team championship. Awesome. Sweet. Actually looks sophisticated.
Hey, he said it was a very nice above ground pool. And
yes,
it is.
That's a very nice above ground pool. And it's in the back of the double wide.
It looks like he's got a deck now too. He's setting it up.
SmackDown pays pretty well.
Well, the champions anyway.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So he can hire the best.
It's like Rhino said. He was pretty certain that the salary for SmackDown championships put a pretty big dent in that above ground pool.
Yeah.
You remember when he was asking Rhino to just let him win that match? And Rhino's like, "What kind of pool? In ground pool?" He's like, "No, it's an above ground. Very nice above ground." And Rhino's like sitting there hesitating, like, you know, if it was an underground pool and it was in ground pool, maybe. He had that thought in his head. You can see it. It's like, I can't help you.
It's like, I'll do above ground pool. Sorry, kid.
I can't help you.
If it was an in ground pool, maybe you let me swim in it once a week.
But that was cool because you saw Rhino sitting there like, normally Rhino's such a fucking beast. He's like, hey, he's beating up everybody. But you saw this compassionate side. He thought about it for a moment. He's like, I can't help you.
Yeah, there's that moment where he's like, I'm trying to get a pool, and normally you think most guys would be like, get out of here, but he's like, wait, what kind of pool? I like that. That's great. Like it's almost like, you know, it's like
almost like he cared.
Yeah, almost like he was considering it. Like, yeah, maybe I might help. Yeah, I might help you, kid. Above what kind of pool? It's an above ground pool. No, I'm sorry. Sorry, can't help you. That's funny.
And then he came to him, and I found it funny because after he gored him and did all that stuff and made the match and beat the hell out of him, the next week he's like sitting there looking for the goddamn tag team partner.
No, everyone's saying no.
And everyone's saying no, and finally is like Heath was like, "You're my last chance." And then he's like, "Whoa, you mean I wasn't your first? Oh, you're gonna regret that." He's like, "What? No." And Rhino walks up to him. He's like, you can see Heath's like not very trusting of Rhino at that point.
Yeah.
He's like, you know, I've been tag team champion. What was it? 4 times?
Yeah.
He's like, I've been tag team champion 4 times, and I'm pretty sure that championship, that salary would put a pretty big dent in that in an above ground pool.
And you saw the look on Heath Slater's face.
Did
He's
we
so
just
happy.
become yes?
And then they go out there and they win the tag belts, and the chemistry between them is amazing. I think there's going to be a trend. I predict Rhino's Crackers is going to be trending on Twitter at some point when they're just like, I'm going to knock those crackers out. And you just saw the look on Rhino's face like, don't touch
my crackers.
You touch those crackers. And at one point, he crushed the crackers like, I'm going to kill you. And then the Usos were like, yeah, we'll see you guys Sunday. They kind of as soon as Rhino got up, they was like, we're going.
Yeah, notice they never tried to threaten Rhino. They went straight for Heath.
Yeah, they went after Slater. It's like, we're not fucking with this guy.
And then Rhino gets in between them like, and they're like, we'll see you Sunday.
See you Sunday. They backed down so bad. Oh, man.
Okay, now with this being talked about now, prediction time. Do you think the Usos are going to win the championship?
Honestly, I'm starting to think that. For two reasons. One, they're fighting again. And two, with the heel turn they're on right now,
they need it.
And I think that fans won't be as bitchy because they're heels now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the biggest bashing I've seen of the Usos since they turned heel is somebody posted a picture of them and said, y'all, what y'all don't know is y'all been heel since you helped Roman. Basically saying the fans have been booing you since you helped Roman.
Well, the thing is, fans have been kind of indifferent to the Usos. Like, not necessarily booing them, but they've been indifferent for a while because they've been the top tag team and won the tag belts multiple
times. And their
times.
characters were getting old and they were getting stale.
And they won tag team of the year when they barely wrestled that entire year.
Well, that's because, let's be honest, and this is I don't like it, but the newer the event, the more fresh is your mind, the more votes it's going to get. That's true for everything. I mean, you could look at the fucking Oscars, and the people who win the Oscar, the newer movie will get it almost every time.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think of that. But yeah, so I think with the tag team belts, they're definitely going to win. They've got to.
And I think this rivalry between the two of them could be fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
the Usos and Rhino and Heath. This could be a fun rivalry to watch.
Oh, yeah. And I definitely think if the Usos win the tag belts, I think they're going to hold on to it for quite a while. I think American Alpha is going to be the one to take it off of them.
They need to. American Alpha, if American Alpha does not win the tag belts within a fucking year, I'm going to be so pissed.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell this is. And of course,
the new game comes out. I'm going to play as American Alpha.
Very true. And let's take a look over here. And I see we have a caller on the line, so I don't know.
It's a local caller, too.
Yeah, it's a local caller, so I guess we'll take this one. We'll see what's on the person's mind here. And hello, you're on the Boochcast.
Vinny.
Hey, hey, everybody, it's Frank.
I got some questions.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have the ID code? I'm just kidding.
I like it.
Do you have your internet password? It's pretty much the same.
Then we're not going to even go there.
Let's not. I'm just messing around, bro. I'm just messing around.
What I wanted to ask, okay, since The Miz couldn't take since Dolph Ziggler couldn't take the Intercontinental Champion, is that leaving it open for John Cena?
I don't think so, and not because I don't think that, not because I don't think that he would work well with the Intercontinental Championship, but because I honestly think with how they're setting things up between Cena and Ambrose, I think Cena might be going for a 16th world title.
Yeah, if he doesn't get it, no mercy, he's gonna get it soon. They're building for it.
Okay, then who goes for the Intercontinental Championship?
That's a good question. Right now, it's kind of open. They haven't made it clear yet. With Ziggler having lost again, I think Ziggler is going to disappear for a short while, and I do mean a short while.
Yeah,
but he's going to come back, and suddenly, I think this is what needs to happen. And I do like Dolph Ziggler's current character, but he needs to go heel.
Yeah,
he has to, because he's been doing well with this face character of being on the break, but this whole setup and him not winning the championship, the only way that this makes sense is if he turns heel and completely decimates everyone in his path.
And the thing is, the weird thing is that if Ziggler can't do it, it does leave a void because the only other person Miz has been verbally sparring with is Daniel Bryan, who WWE is not going to let back into that ring.
See, that's not even true anymore. I've seen some wrestling rumors saying there's a possibility of WWE finally clearing him for a match or so, or for a match or a rivalry or so.
But
because you have to realize every other doctor in the world has cleared Daniel Bryan.
Yes,
it's only the WWE doctors who have turned him down, and that's more because they're worried about him getting really bad hurt again.
And it's not just that they're really getting bad hurt again. This is the fear they have. They're worried that if Daniel Bryan goes out to that ring and he gets seriously injured and he gets hurt, God forbid, paralyzed, that the backlash is going to be on WWE. They're going to say, you let this happen. You don't care. You didn't care about his health. You knew he was injured and hurt, yet you let him go out there and fight.
But now at this point, with them holding back so much longer after the other doctors have cleared him, they pretty, as far as I'm concerned, they have cleared themselves of all blame.
I believe that too. And I believe that I'm one of those guys that's like, I put the majority of the responsibility on the wrestlers.
Now, here's what I think should happen, because I don't want Daniel Bryan to win the title, but I do want him to come back for a big match against The Miz.
Yeah.
So here's what I think should happen. I think Daniel Bryan, as the general manager, needs to start getting involved in The Miz's title defenses. Since Ziggler is now officially, as far as I'm concerned, out of the picture. Ziggler has used up every chance he had.
Yeah.
Now, he could argue that he has not lost a fair match.
Well, because there's been rumors speculating, and this is just a rumor, that The Miz and Ziggler are going to have a final battle at No Mercy, and they're going to put it in a steel cage. That's been a rumor that that if they fight again at No Mercy, it's going to be inside a steel cage, so Maurice can't get involved. There's none of that hairspray crap, and Miz can't cheat to win because he's locked in the cage. The only way Miz could possibly win is to be a coward and climb out,
which would be interesting, and I would love to see this. But the way I'm looking at it here is that if they don't give Ziggler this final match. If they do give him this match, then Ziggler has to win, because having him lose again is no good.
Exactly.
But if they don't give him this match, Ziggler needs to go away for a short while. Miz has to have a new contender, and then I think Bryan should get involved in said match and help whatever face contender that they have against him win the championship.
Yeah. And then Bryan's in a situation because he did a conflict of interest.
Right.
He got involved.
And then that puts him in, as far as I'm concerned, that should put him in line for a match against The Miz. Which they could build that all the way to fucking WrestleMania.
Yeah. Or at least Survivor Series of the Rumble.
Yeah, something big. They could.
Okay.
Well, can't they use Bray Wyatt or Randy Orton against The Miz?
They could, but it wouldn't make much sense because they're already fighting each other. Plus, it's going to be tough because they can't use Apollo Crews because they practically buried this guy 12 feet under the goddamn ground, which I'm pissed about.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Immensely.
I don't know.
I will say,
I don't know
the
why.
more recent matches with Apollo Crews have been much better than that first encounter.
Yeah. But I'm just saying in general how he's been
But
treated. I'm sorry, Frank, go ahead.
I don't know. No, I don't know why they buried him like that, because I thought they could have used him. If they used him right, he would have been awesome.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He's extremely talented. He does need a manager, though. He needs somebody with some charisma to work his promos.
Yeah. But promos haven't really been necessary for an Intercontinental title run. It's more for the world title than anything else.
But that's the thing, is they're trying to build up all the titles now, which means promos are going to be necessary. That's why The Miz is so – The Miz right now is extremely relevant because of his promos.
Yeah.
You're hating on it, I know, but he's doing a damn good job.
This thing never ends.
So, yeah, because it would make sense to turn Dolph Ziggler heel, like you were saying, because him being babyface, it's sucking for him. It's not doing right. I mean, he's not going anywhere. He's not getting a championship. babyface, they need to do a real 360 and turn him into a heel so he can do something, so he can get that Intercontinental Championship, because I'm sick of The Miz having it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing is, I was sick of The Miz having it too because he wasn't doing anything with it. But right now, with this storyline and with The Miz working the way he is, I'm enjoying this. Because, yes, Miz is being a bad guy, but Miz is always a bad guy. He tried a face run, it failed.
It did fail, and he's because some people are just natural born assholes, and when you embrace that, it makes it better. Like, that's why Baron Corbin does well as a heel. Now it's Desmond's turn to have an angry look on his face because I know he hates Baron Corbin, but
Baron doesn't do a good job as a heel. The people literally fucking hate him.
Yes, but he has
a difference. That's like saying Eva Marie's a good heel. No. They just fucking hate her because she sucks.
No. What? Okay, I understand that, but the difference between Eva Marie and Baron Corbin is this: even though people just naturally hate Baron Corbin, what makes him a great heel is the fact that he has a natural prickish demeanor, because trainers, I mean, he's respectful to like the coaches and the trainers and stuff, because they understand that a lot of his anger came from the fact that he was watching all these people get called to the main roster before him, and he felt he was better than most of them. Not all of them, but a good chunk of them. So he had this big chip on his shoulder. So they had to like calm him down at times. They understood. But the thing is, what's great about Baron Corbin is he plays the heel role well. Like, there are times where I see him, like, he'll have his arms out celebrating after a match, and some crowds will be cheering, and then he just goes, meh, and walks to the back. Or like when Jack Swagger got in the ring and Baron Corbin just stares him down, then he just gets out of the ring and walks away. Like, I'll see you soon. Like, his delivery of heel tactics is great in that regard. He knows the proper way to back down from the fight without looking like a coward too much. And he just has that natural prickish demeanor. Eva Marie doesn't have a bitchy demeanor. Like, and what I mean by that is she's not a good heel. She just has arrogance. She's the arrogant heel.
Well, let's be honest though. That's a major heel quality.
It is. I'm just saying that that's the difference, is that Baron Corbin can be kind of a dick. Eva Marie is just arrogant. She's not like a total bitch to people.
Yeah,
and she's still in her delivery. There's something off about her delivery.
I don't feel. I don't feel that anything comes off right with Baron. I mean, he doesn't put on good matches. He can't talk for shit, and I'm bored with him.
I know.
Anything to do with him bores me.
I know. They need to reignite something, but all right. So we're spending a lot of time on this topic. So Frank, was there any other questions about different topics that you had?
No, not really. No, I was thinking. What is it?
Well, you said you had some questions, so I wanted to get to the other questions that you had.
Okay. I'm just going to switch it a little bit. When the Hardys go against Decay, are they going to make the Hardys babyface?
The Hardys are already face.
They're already face. They're not making them face. They're babyface. A little later on today, if we got time, we're going to do the recap of TNA. If we got time. If we don't have time, I'll save it for a later date. But yes, there will be a major thing we're going to be talking about in regards to TNA, because it's not involved in my recap. So I'm not going to go over the whole TNA show that took place last night right now. I'm going to save that for later. But I will say that the Hardys are definitely the face. Decay is definitely the heel. And the thing is, we weren't really sure at first who was going to be heel and who was going to be babyface. But they established it during the Delete or Decay when Rosemary broke into the house and tried to steal King Maxwell and said, "Do you want to see just how much you love your baby?" And then threw the baby over the balcony, but it was a baby. It was a fake doll. And she caught it And then Senor Benjamin came out and said, I have Maxwell, and that's when Rebbe said, prepare the battlefield for massacre. That was the moment it was official that Decay was the heel and Hardys were the face, because Decay is going after Maxwell. So that's what made the Hardys face. And that's why now you're seeing, instead of Brother Nero being the obsolete mule that Broken Matt is berating and degrading all the time, the Hardys are now side by side as equals. Even though Matt still owns the intellectual property, instead of Matt treating Brother Nero like an obsolete mule, they're standing as equals, because Brother Nero has now accepted, I am broken, and I am now officially a part of the Broken Brilliance. So now they're not calling themselves the Broken Hardys, but everybody else is. So that's why they're the babyface, because now Matt and Jeff are now a team again. It's not Jeff Hardy being a slave to Matt. They're equals now, especially since Jeff kind of saved Matt from Janice. And Janice hit.
And something else we need to point out. When Matt was a heel, Jeff was still a face. He was sitting there apologizing to the fans after the promos. He was like, I'm sorry. I don't know what it is. I don't know what to do.
And then he would be like mouthing the words, like when Jeff would get behind him, he'd be like, Brother Nero, I knew you'd come. Jeff would just be behind him going, I knew you'd come. Just, he was just sitting behind him like, whatever. Just like, he's like, as I take you to the darkness of deletion. He's just sitting in the back there mouthing the word deletion. And he's just like, yeah, we're going to take him to deletion. You just ring the bell so I can get this over with. And it was kind of that awkward moment until Matt finally said, you showed a little bit of passion, mule. And then Jeff just snapped and took out the tribunal. Put Al Snow through a table and then himself through a table. And then he was broken, and that was the moment everything changed.
Well, all I have to say is I love what they did with Jeff Hardy's eyes.
Yeah, he basically got I'm convinced now that he's not rolling his eyes back like The Undertaker. Those are white contact lenses, clear white contact lenses. So he can still see.
Because if he rolled his eyes back like The Undertaker, that'd be kind of hard to keep that like that the whole time.
Hell, Undertaker can't even keep it there for that long. He keeps it long enough for the camera to get on there, and then he turns it back.
Here's the thing. If you actually pay attention to The Undertaker when he does that, the only reason it looks like they're rolled back that far is because he's got steel fucking blue eyes. It's hard to see the bottom of his irises at the top of his eyes. But his eyes don't go all the way back like some people I know.
Yeah.
It's just because of the natural color of his eyes is so light that it's hard to see.
Yeah, and because he only does it, and then when he takes the hat off, you see them roll back briefly, and then they cut the camera to the other guy. By the time they cut it back to Undertaker, his eyes are normal. So I think those are white contact lenses to make Brother Nero just look better. And it's great. So the Hardys are definitely face. They are definitely face. And I do have some articles regarding Broken Matt that we're gonna get into a little later. But yeah, to answer your question, Hardys are babyface, Decay is heel, and hopefully the Hardys win next Sunday.
They need to.
Yes. If they don't win this Sunday, TNA officially deserves to go out of business at that point. I never said that, but I'm saying it now. They deserve to be put out of business if they don't give the Broken Hardys the tag titles. But I'm sorry, you were saying?
And though they're the perfect team to go against Decay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and they're the perfect team to have the championship.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what I believe, because I believe when I turn on TNA, I can't wait to see what's next, what the Hardys have planned next on TNA, because I just like them so much with what they're doing. I think it's a perfect gimmick and everything that how they're setting them up.
The thing about Matt Hardy is he's a lot smarter than fans give him credit for. So people make jokes and call him Fat Hardy and all this other shit, and they have the audacity to mock him when he's one of the all-time greats especially in tag team wrestling. But Matt's a lot smarter than people give him credit for. Because when he started the broken gimmick, everyone made fun of it, except for me. Everyone made fun of it. Everyone hated it. Everyone said you're shitting on the wrestling business. You're making a mockery of the wrestling business. It is disgraceful. Old school people fucking hated it. Even Jim Cornette, who likes the Hardys, was shitting all over it. They all thought it was abysmal. But as the weeks progressed and as Matt worked on the Broken Brilliance and segued it into everything, now it's the most talked about thing in wrestling. Everyone's jumping on it. Everybody loves it. Why? Because Matt made it better than ever. He made it work. Matt Hardy took this gimmick and made it work. And this is what Matt has done that people don't understand. Matt Hardy spent a good chunk of his career under one persona. Matt Hardy, Team Extreme. He repackaged himself as the V1 character with Mattitude when he was Cruiserweight champion. He came back with Matt Hardy, Will Not Die, when he feuded with Edge. And they took their real life drama and made it a storyline and an epic rivalry and all this other stuff. Matt established himself as one character for his entire career and has now completely reinvented himself and made himself relevant again under a completely different persona. He has this broken Matt, he's completely turned a 180, reinvented himself, and now with this broken Matt gimmick, Matt has added years to his career. Matt Hardy could have a whole new extra 10 years left in him now, maybe, with this gimmick.
I think it's a good gimmick.
It is. It's genius. And what's great about it is Matt makes it old school, because ever since he's been Broken Matt, every interview he's done on Talk is Jericho, he's supposed to make an appearance on Jim Ross's podcast real soon. He's done internet TV interviews, like YouTube channels and shit. Every interview Matt Hardy has done since then, he has been in full Broken Matt character. He still answers questions, but he only talks as Broken Matt. And if somebody says the words Jeff Hardy, he corrects them and says, no. You must say Brother Nero. I own the name Jeff, Jaffhardy. In fact, if you say that name again, I will charge you money. He has said that. He said that to Jericho. Like, I could charge you. And Jericho plays along. He's in the wrestling business too. He's like, I'm sorry, I won't say that again. Please don't charge me money. But it's funny. Like, it's amazing. Like, damn. And Matt he stays in character, which is the most old school you could possibly be. Because that's how people were back in the 80s, like a little bit in the 80s, but definitely in the 70s and beyond that, was that if you had a wrestling character, every time you were in public, you lived that character 24/7, 365. Because even though wrestling has always been scripted, you had to make the audience believe it was real. Like back in the day when Flair and Dusty Rhodes used to feud together, if Ric Flair went to a bar, Dusty Rhodes was not allowed to go to that bar. He had to go party somewhere else. They could not be in the same building together outside of wrestling because they were enemies. They could not ride together. They could not share a hotel room. They couldn't eat in the same restaurants. It was forbidden. And if you did that back in the day, you were fired. And there are some local indie promotions here in Georgia that still embody that rule. But Matt Hardy, he's taken it completely to the old school with this new gimmick. And I think people need to understand that Matt Hardy, fucking genius. And the best part is he has full control over this gimmick. TNA does not take creative freedom away from him. I read that recently. Pretty cool.
She looks so cute in that picture.
But as far as you saying, Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes weren't able to stay in the same hotel room, I wouldn't want to stay in the same hotel room either. That's kind of weird.
Well, you know, sometimes when you're on the road, you get like a two-bed hotel room. One guy sleeps in one bed, one sleeps in the other bed is what I mean. But what I mean is that they couldn't do that. Like, you could only check in with like tag team, like Enzo and Cass. When they check into a hotel room, they get a two-bed hotel room. Like, Enzo sleeps in one bed, Cass sleeps in the other. Unless Carmella was traveling with them, then maybe they might not do. Then Cass and Carmella might get a separate hotel room for obvious reasons. But now it's just Enzo and Cass on the road together. That's what they do. So, but yeah, I get your point.
If Cass gets in a bed in the hotel room, does his feet hang off? Because he's 7 feet tall?
Maybe. I don't know.
He has to call ahead and special order a California king put in his room.
Yeah. he probably looks for that in advance.
So, how is everything?
Oh, well, so far everything's going good. Earlier in the show, we talked about Desmond's transformation where he shaved his head, and I'm doing pretty good. I got on stage for the first time in a few weeks. I was at the Sweetwater Bar and Grill. I was at a Sweetwater Bar and Grill last night. Had a hell of a show. I did a new joke about Pokemon Go and it killed.
That could be a joke in itself right there.
It did.
So Desmond, you have a shaved head. Why did you copy my look?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were the first person ever to have a shaved head.
I was. It's been way back.
Goddamn, how old are you?
But I was the first.
I'm pretty sure
352 years old.
Is that all? I'm pretty sure there were shaved heads back in Egypt.
Well, you see, Brother Desmond, you see, his soul has been around for thousands of years. You see, now it currently exists in his current vessel, but the soul was invented about 666 AD. So it has been around for thousands of years. So he has had a bald head for a much longer time than people could understand.
Oh, see, no, Vinny, your soul's been trapped in the orange slut for a very long time.
Let me correct this real quick because he hasn't had a slut in a long time.
Oh, okay. Okay, the orange box, your soul's been locked in the orange box for a very long time.
He wishes he had a slut. He doesn't care what color it is. Notice I said it, not she.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Delete. Obsolete. God damn it. I hate you. I was tricked, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, this is fucking hilarious.
This will never go away.
Never. I've said it before. You will make it to the Comedy Hall of Fame, and you'll say, my best friend. I've known him since I was 25 years old, and he's gonna give. I'm giving the speech here. The Boochcast. Look that shit up. Look up the incidents.
Desmond, you're 26 years old.
I'm 25. I turned 26
so you've known
in
him for a
January.
year.
I'm 25.
How old are you? I'm 29.
Yeah,
I'll be 30 in March.
We've known each other for like 5 years now.
Oh, yeah, go almost. No, I think it's
4 and a half.
It's 4. It's about 4.
Whatever.
Yeah,
something like that.
I just remember it was right around WrestleMania 28. That was when we met.
Right
around that time. Okay.
I was like freaking. I was 21. We met when I was just barely legal to go to a bar.
Yeah.
Not that I hadn't been going to bars.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. It's like it's just kind of like one of those things where it's like, hey man, No one's looking at the beer. Yeah.
No, the funny thing, I've been going to this bar since I was 20 years old, right? And I was like, I was freshly 20 years old when I started going to this bar.
Okay.
I never ordered any beer. I never did, not once.
Okay.
And I kid you not, about a month or two before my 21st birthday, I'd been going there for, it couldn't have been. It couldn't have been. I've been going there for like 8 months. All right, just doing karaoke. You know, I'd go and I drink my soda, hang out with some friends, maybe get something from the kitchen. Right, and it was like a month, 3 weeks through a month before my fucking 21st birthday, and the waitress walks up, doesn't even question, says, "Can I get you a beer?" Doesn't question anything. I said, "I would love for that to happen, but I'm underage." And she's like, "Holy shit, really?" Because I've been going there for so long, everyone there just assumed that I was 21.
It's like I still got another month or so before I can drink that.
And like, I will be here on my 21st birthday, but
in the meantime, I'll just have my soda, please.
It completely threw her mind. It's like I've been going there for a while. I've been the DD on several occasions, and I actually got pulled over leaving the bar at one time when I was 20 years old. And the police officer said, "Have you been drinking, sir?" "You've got my ID. I'm underage." It's like, "Have you been drinking, sir?" I'm like, "No, I was at the bar. I was at the bar being just in case a friend needed a DD, and tonight they didn't need me, but they let me in there to do karaoke just in case." And the officer's like, "We saw you swerve back there." I'm like, "Yeah,
Vinny.
Hold on. Let Desmond finish the story.
Why don't you look up?
Hold on, Frank. Let Desmond finish the story, and then we'll get to what you want to say. All right. Continue.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, "We saw you swerve back there." I'm like, "Yeah, you saw the car in the turning lane?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "That was a buddy of mine. I was being stupid trying to wave, and then I saw the light turn green, and I wasn't paying attention to where I was on the road. And that was my fault. My bad." They were like, "You willing to take a breathalyzer test?" Sure. I hadn't had shit to drink. I don't care.
Ooh. Okay.
So I took the breathalyzer test. I passed it. Got a C.
C is passing.
Anyway, I passed it. I passed it. Well, you have to realize in the state of Georgia, there is a zero tolerance policy. If you are underage and if it picks up alcohol, period, you can go to jail.
Well, yeah, because you're underage. That makes sense.
Yeah, there is a zero tolerance. It doesn't matter how low it is. But anyway, I passed it. And you know, and then the officer looks at it, shows his partner, and they're like, "We really don't have nothing. We can't do nothing. Have a nice day."
So they just send you home. All right. That's a hell of a story, man. That is cool. I only got pulled over once when they thought I was drinking. And that was just because they said, "We saw you swerve back there." And the truth is, I was just really tired. And then once I explained that to them, they said they eventually believed me. And they said, "Okay, well, we're gonna let you off with a warning, but we need you to, try to stay awake for the rest of the drive home."
I have a story just like that as well. But it made things worse because it was 3 a.m. after St. Patrick's Day.
Ah, shit.
So obviously the police were hot out that night.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I had 2 drinks that night. I was old enough to drink at this point. I had 2 drinks that night, and it was like 10 o'clock when I had those drinks, okay? And then I went to hang out and play video games with Steven. And I was running on 3 hours of sleep. And it was going on my 25th hour of being awake.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just like, it was my 22nd hour of being awake off of 3 hours of sleep. And I'm like, apparently I ran a stop sign or 2.
Yeah.
I honestly did not see the stop signs. I was that tired. All right. The officers pulled me over. "Have you had anything to drink?" "Yeah, like 10 o'clock. I'd had 2 beers. I'm like, all right, they took the breathalyzer. Once again, I passed the breathalyzer. I hadn't had anything to drink in like 5 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, "Look, I'm going on 3 hours of sleep. I just want to get home and go to sleep." I was like, I've been up for 20 plus hours. I had 3 hours of sleep last night. I just want to go home. And I lived 2 seconds down the road. They followed me to the apartment complex to make sure I got there okay.
That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what it came down to. It's just I was half asleep. And so I got one just like that too. This is one of those things like people are like, police are shitty. Okay, this happened in Forsyth fucking County. Okay, Forsyth County is absolutely fucking known for having the most. What's the term I'm looking for? I'm just gonna stick with dirty cops.
Yeah,
they're known for having corrupt police systems.
Ooh, that they do.
And I had done all kinds of shit. But here's the thing. And I know black people who, even in Forsyth County, who have gotten away with this. If you are polite and kind and friendly with the police officer, and you answer their questions, you do what you're told, they will leave you the fuck alone.
It's true. I had a thing with and I'll tell this story and then we'll get to Frank. I just want to get off topic. I had a similar situation where I was out drinking. And I had maybe 2 beers. That is not enough to get me anything. Shots is instant transmission. Shots is instant transmission. I take a shot, I'm done. I'm not weak with alcohol. But I had a couple beers, which didn't do nothing. So I drove. It was 55 miles an hour. I was going 56. Cop pulled me over. Because apparently I swerved a little bit, so they waited until I went over 55, so they had a logical reason to pull me over.
Actually, if you cross the line, they can pull you for failure to maintain lane.
That one too, but they said I was going 56 and 55, and I'm like, then why am I being pulled over? And they said because of all this other stuff, and I was like, okay. So they asked me if I'd been drinking. I said, yeah, I had 2 beers. That was it. They were trying to do something where they wanted to see if I was incoherent, and I was completely coherent. So they had me step out of the car. I stepped out of the car, and they wanted to do they tried to do the field sobriety test, and it's one of the things where it's where they take the hand and you got to follow it with just your eyes, and they do all the. And they're literally going left to right and up and down and trying to throw me off. In my head, I'm just sitting there going, this is it? You fucking kidding me right now? I passed that thing with flying goddamn colors. And they were laughing about it. They were like, I guess he's not drunk after all. Yeah, we just wanted to make sure everything was cool. I'm like, yeah, I understand. It's cool. It's yeah, just be careful. I said, yeah. They saw my ID. They know I live right around the corner. I just got to go down this highway, make a left, and I'm practically home. So they let me go. And that was the Alpharetta police. So,
Alpharetta's not so bad.
They're not so bad. They're not bad. So they're pretty cool, too. Like I said, I didn't argue with them. I was like, all right, cool. Everything's cool. And we left. So anyway, that ends the cop stories. Frank, what did you want to say?
I just saw Desmond's shaved head on Facebook. I like it.
Of course you do. I'm a good-looking guy.
I think it's cool. Well, I don't go that far.
Well, okay. Well, in that case, then there's no accounting for taste.
Oh!
Well, Vinny, I want you to look up something because they said with the debate between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump coming up on Monday, the beer winery made a special beer for that particular thing. So
the
they
beer
didn't say much
winery?
after that on the news.
Do you know the name of the place?
They said they made a special beer for the debate that's going on Monday between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump.
Okay.
So.
Okay, I put
So,
beer
I don't
president.
know.
Long Island beer from George Washington recipe honors presidential debates. Are we talking about?
They're doing, something with it.
Yeah. It says Long Island beer from George Washington recipe honors presidential debate. Let's see. It's from 3 days ago. Blue Point Brewing Company, based in Patch Oak, Long Island. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
Is set to debut a Patriot-themed beer in honor of the upcoming presidential debate at Hofstra University. Blue Point Brewing Company, based in Patchos, Long Island, is set to debut a patriotic-themed beer in honor of the upcoming presidential debate at Hofstra University. It is a modern twist on an old recipe from 1757 belonging to our first president, George Washington. We found a hand-penned recipe of George Washington in a military journal for a small beer. What the fuck? Said Dan Jensen. There's a YouTube camera. I should have seen that coming. Said Dan Jensen, Blue Point's brewmaster. He is putting the finishing touches on the special ale that will debut outside Monday's debate. We try to utilize the ingredients that they would have used at the time, he said. Jansen used colonial ingredients, including light molasses syrup and spruce tips, to supplement hops from Washington's recipe. The finished product is the debate brew called Colonial Ale. I think it's delicious, he said. I get some toffee and caramel notes from the molasses syrup that we added, and then I get a little bit of just citrus, pinery character on the end from the spruce tips. Once sworn into office, Washington made his way across Long Island. One of his stops was at Hart's Tavern in 1790. It's now a cemetery, but a plaque marks the approximate location of where it once was. Be careful not to hit the button. Rumor has it he stopped and had some Blue Point oysters and a beer, Jansen said. The recipe is in the archives of the New York Public Library. Well, no wonder no one's been able to find it. Blue Point. Who the fuck goes to the library anymore? Blue Point founder Mark. Oh, besides Desmond. Blue Point founder Mark Burford.
I saw an article about a kid who was able to build a wind turbine to help save his town on energy costs, all from information he found reading books at the library.
Damn. Blue Point founder Mark Burford plans to offer samples at the tasting room. The company takes pride in showcasing a local beer during a national event. What would President Washington say? He would say, give me another pint because this is good beer today, Burford said. It is a pint to pay homage to the first president as we get closer to electing the 45th president. And this is a message from Blue Point. The brewery is excited to be part of the debate in a fun way. Beer brings people together, and creating a special historic beer for the first 2016 presidential debate is a fun way for us to participate. This brown ale pays tribute to our first president, George Washington, who also happened to be a home brewer. It proudly features 2-row barley malted in New York and colonial ingredients, corn, oats, wheat, molasses, and spruce tips, which colonial brewers use to supplement hops. We'll also have it available in the Blue Point tasting room in Patchogue after the debate, and we'll be hosting election parties at local bars in November as well, featuring the beer. So there we have it. We have a patriotic beer for the first presidential debate, which is coming up this coming Monday.
I don't like
And you know why everybody gets along? Because everybody's drunk.
I was gonna say, well, that could like everybody could get along, or it could be the biggest bar fight we've ever seen.
Exactly.
They could be trying to set a new world record.
Yeah, we might the world's biggest bar fight or the world's most peaceful interaction. It depends on how ale works with some people, I guess. But all I know is this. And I know and here's the thing. We've talked about the debate here on the Boochcast, and everybody knows which side of the fence I've chosen to ride on. We know which side of the fence Desmond's been on. Neither. His guy got screwed. So that's why he has nobody. But the one thing we're going to say is this. After this debate, I think we're all going to need to get drunk. We're going to need to get drunk after this debate. I think you have
to be drunk to understand anything Donald Trump says.
And I think you have to get drunk to ignore, to actually believe Hillary.
Yeah, he's like, Hillary, she's coherent. You can understand what she's saying.
It's all bullshit, but you can understand it.
Exactly. Trump, I'm not sure if he's telling you the truth or not. I'm also not sure what his views are. Here's my best impression of Trump right here.
All right.
I have views. I have the best views. All the best views. Like I have the best people in the world coming up and helping me find out what the truest of facts are for my best views. That's it. That's Donald Trump in a nutshell.
It works. You know what that reminds me of? You see Family Guy. You've seen Family Guy, right? I'm double checking. I've had some friends who haven't seen Family Guy, so I have to double check.
Who the fuck hasn't seen Family Guy?
You'd be surprised. All right, Frank, you watch Family Guy, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I want to make sure. I literally talked about Family Guy at one point. Someone told me I never watched it, so I double checked with everyone now. So, but anyway, there's an episode. Remember the episode when Lois runs for mayor and she's debating Adam West? There was one moment where they're taking questions from the audience. This is where they get to raise their hand and stuff. And Adam West said, they asked him a question about what you plan to do to fix the problems in our city. This was what Adam West said. I think this sums up any presidential candidate. He said, this is what he said. Well, sir, that's a wonderful question, and I thank you for it. I think it's wonderful that we live in a country where we can ask questions. Because without questions, we just have answers. And an answer without a question is a statement. That's all the fucking said. I'm like, that's fucking awesome. And then the guy in the audience said, "Oh, I like him. He looks me in the eye." That was it.
That's what's happening right now. That is what is happening right now.
And then here's what happened. And then Lois is like, "How do I beat that?" And then Brian goes, "Undecided voters are the biggest idiots on the planet. Just try being simple." So Lois goes up, and this is Lois. Okay, they go. Lois, what do you plan to do to fix the problems in our city? And she goes, "A lot." And the crowd starts cheering. And she goes, "'Cause that's what Jesus wants." Yay! And she goes, 9/11 was bad. Woo! It's like, Mrs. Griffin, how are we gonna solve the potholes? 9/11. Woo! It's like, and then at one point she goes, "Mrs. Griffin, what are we gonna do about the local taxes? 9/11. Woo! Like, it's literally just makes fun of every single politician. Like, it was brilliant. I bet we're gonna see that on Monday.
I'm looking at something here. You know those really bad headlines you read, the ones that make people look really fucking stupid?
Yes.
Listen to this. Wisconsin man throws beer bottle at bartender when she changes Black Sabbath to Christmas music.
Black Sabbath to Christmas music?
And then the person comments, "Heroes don't always wear a cape."
You know what? Why would you play Christmas music in fucking September?
This isn't exactly new, but it's still, I've seen it before. It never gets old, though. As it's like, this is Halloween. This is Halloween. Halloween is not a day. It is a season. Y'all can kiss my ass. If Christmas can have a season, Halloween can have a season.
Exactly. All right. So make sure you grab some Colonial Ale for the presidential debate on Monday.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I don't know. So Frank, do you have a dog in this presidential fight? Like a person you really want to vote for?
Yeah, I want to go for Trump because Hillary Clinton said she wants to take to the border patrol from Mexico she wants to get rid of the border patrol.
Okay. All right. I guess that's the way he wants to go.
Okay, I will say. Now, at least your view is on a political view. I'll give you that. That is one thing. But and everyone knows I don't like either one of them.
Yes, we've made that very clear.
But one, choosing the lesser of two evils does not make anything any better. Two, and this is something there are a lot of different views going through here. Now, of the two, I agree Donald Trump is better. But even with Donald Trump being better, I'm going to put this out here right now. In the range of people who I would vote for. All right, and this is the very bottom end here. All right, the last person in the world I would vote for our president is Hillary Clinton. Second to last is Donald Trump. And then the third to last is someone who I would vote for before either one of those, Charles Manson. I would vote for Charles Manson before I did Hillary or Donald Trump.
Okay. Of course, I'm going to need to ask why.
Because at least with Manson, you know where he's going with things.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what the hell.
He's been very, very open about his views. If you actually know anything about Manson, he's never hidden what his views were.
True.
He's got some out there methods, sure. But what his views are and what he's hoping to accomplish, he's been very open about.
And when he says America is my family, he ain't kidding.
It's like, it was like the Manson family. He got the entire Manson family to work together under one. Now imagine if he was the leader of the entire country. Everybody together.
Yeah. Wait, was there? I got a question. I didn't follow like everything about the Manson family. When he created the Manson family, was there Kool-Aid involved at any point? I need to know this.
No, he wasn't one of those cult leaders that believed in mass suicide.
He didn't believe in that?
No.
He didn't kill anybody in his own group? If you were in the group, you were in the group?
Actually, Charles Manson was never convicted of a single murder.
Then why is he in jail?
Conspiracy to commit murder.
Oh.
He was convicted. He was convicted of setting up all the murders for.
Oh, so he never actually killed anyone. He sent the family to go do that.
According to the laws, according to what they said, anyway.
Okay,
that's what he was convicted of. He was never actually convicted of killing anyone.
Wow, I didn't even know that.
Now, I firmly believe he killed somebody. At least one person.
He had to have killed somebody. There's no way he didn't. He didn't kill at least one person and then thought, this is too much work. Let me get somebody else to do it for me. Right. You know, like this is killed two people and then got lazy.
Here's what happened. Here's what I think happened. Here's what I think. It's like, look, he got this group together and he's like, all right, these people, they right now they support me. They trust me. But I need to put some fear in their hearts. Boom, this motherfucker's dead. If you don't want to be next, you're taking the credit for this murder. And when he killed just a handful of people that way, and then the stories got out within the family. But the idea that Manson actually killed anybody never left the family because they were all fucking scared. He'd go through and figure out who the fuck said something.
Yeah.
And, yeah, he played it off all nice and cool. He's like, oh, I love my family. We love everybody here.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I see we have another caller on the line. So I just want to say, Frank, I thank you so much, man, for calling in today, dude. I appreciate it. And I can't wait to see you on Sunday, man. Are we still on for Sunday, Clash of Champions?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, man. Thank you so much for calling in. We'll see you Sunday. Oh, wait. The caller just – okay, the other caller just left.
Bye-bye, other caller.
I guess he left. All right. So I guess since he's leaving, Frank, is there anything else you want to talk about? I guess we'll keep Frank on.
No, basically we've gone through everything.
Cool.
All right, man.
All right. Then I have next topic.
Okay. All right, man. In that case, thank you so much, bro, for calling in. Always a pleasure, and we'll see you I'll see you Sunday.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
All right. Bye, Vinny.
All right, see you, Frank. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Frank. I don't know why the other caller left. He kind of just vanished on us. But anyway, you had the next topic?
Yeah, it's just something we talked about a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit. We've got more WWE 2K17 news.
Yes. We'll jump right in. Okay. We got one here. Paul Heyman's big WWE 2K17 reveal. And it also says Randy Orton getting heat for a political tweet, but we'll get to that in a minute. First, let's do that. Yeah. We'll just do the first 2K announcement first. We love giving 2K17 updates as we lead up to October 11th.
When I will have the game and I will probably disappear off the face of the earth.
Well, if you come over for the Boochcast, you better bring that goddamn game. I'll tell you that. But anyway, now as you guys know, we talked about gameplay, and there's another gameplay video we'll talk about maybe either next week or whatever. But we've talked about a lot of things. But the one thing we've always been curious about, the career mode. What are they going to do with the new career mode?
Yeah, because they've been talking about how they're up. 2K has always been good about it. Doesn't matter what game it is, basketball, football. If they're putting out a 2K game, the career mode gets better every year.
Yes.
And so far, they have been stepping it up every year. I mean, and this game is no exception. You still got the option to start out in the Performance Center because that's how you're supposed to start out in the WWE.
Yeah.
But this time around, not only are the storylines more intense, not only are the promos better, but this time around, you have the option to bypass the Performance Center, bypass NXT, and become a Paul Heyman guy.
Yes. Paul Heyman will take you out of all that and give you the fast track to success. And apparently, and it's because in the promo video we got here, it shows the Performance Center, it shows Albert in the ring, and he's talking with the guys, and you're seeing clips, live action clips of some of the biggest stars we know, all training in the Performance Center is how they got their start. But then Paul Heyman comes up and decides to get the fast track success. But there's a price that comes with that. For example, you get alienated by everybody. People look down on you because you took the shortcut to success. You didn't pay the dues or anything like that. And but Paul Heyman is guaranteed to bring you to that level of success. So the question is, what's more valuable to you, the money and the titles, or the respect of the locker room?
Yeah, and this is really cool because there's something that the NXT Special Edition, which I'm getting, has that involves the career mode. And that's it. The longer you're in NXT, you get an automatic, I think it's like a 10 or 20% experience boost from each match, as long as you're in NXT. The longer you're in NXT, the more experience you gain using this boost. But if you use the Paul Heyman bypass, you're not getting that experience boost.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be in NXT to get that boost.
Yeah. So basically that's the big question you have. Is that's the price you're going to pay. You could bypass everything, which I'll be honest, like I tried to play career mode 2K16. That's long even for a normal person. Like what realistic person? And then of course there's that moment where he's in an altercation where you see Triple H, and he pretty much tells you how it's going to be. Like Paul Heyman will guarantee you success, but you have to do exactly what he tells you.
And I think the cool thing here is if you want to go through the entire thing as a heel and follow Paul Heyman's orders that way, and then at the end you're like, you know what? Let's swerve this up and go face turn and go against what Paul Heyman says, then you're automatically put into a rivalry with Brock Lesnar.
Really?
That's what it's showing here. That's like if you don't do what I say, then you will be introduced to Suplex City via the Beast Brock Lesnar.
That's right. And it's awesome. And then they show him, and then they show the creative guy getting decimated by Brock, and then it shows everything brutal that can happen. And I'm telling you, the graphics look real. It's like the more I see this game, the more I realize this is going to be awesome. And I love the fact that there's the Paul Heyman guy option. I think it's great. And I like the fact you don't have to wait till you're on. Like, like when you play the career mode game, you have to wait till you're on the main roster before eventually the Authority comes in and you decide whether to oppose the Authority or be with the Authority and all that stuff.
Well, it's because NXT didn't have the Authority.
That's true.
Never did.
Yeah, but I'm saying the Paul Heyman option
is right away. Like the Authority thing was never right away.
And like I said, I understand that. I'm not mad about it. I'm just saying I found that interesting. And to me, that's going to make the career mode that much more exciting.
Right. And I think the biggest thing is they were showing the promos. And, I don't know how they're going to make it, but he was talking about teach you the art of the promo. And they were showing a little prompt thing when they were showing him cutting a promo.
And a little meter thing in the corner?
Yeah, there's a meter, whether or not the fans are behind you. I'm wondering if that means that there's going to be a way to pause yourself, make yourself take a break and listen to the fans' reaction before you continue on talking. If there's a way to make it, or like you say something, you say different things throughout the promo, making your character draw a reaction. I want to know how this promo system is going to work.
Like, do you need a headset and a microphone? You actually say them?
No, from what I'm looking there, that's not going to be the case. It looks like it's a push button prompt by the looks of it.
Yeah.
But we don't know yet. But this does, it's like promos are officially going to be a major factor in the career mode.
Yeah.
And that in itself is fucking phenomenal.
That is. I love that because promos are key to success. Like the number one thing that when Triple H gets asked on Twitter whenever he does Q&A is, what's the first thing they look for in a WWE superstar? His answer every time is charisma. That's what I look for because I can teach everything else.
Absolutely.
That's why I can teach the rest. It's like he's not a good wrestler. Put him in the Performance Center. I'll teach him. And if he's not getting it, I'll cut him. If he is, then good. But the charisma gives me less to teach. That's why they have promo classes. Not everybody's done well in those classes.
Promo classes teach you what to say. But if you can't deliver what it doesn't matter if you say the right things. If you can't deliver it properly, it doesn't matter. It's like
the same thing in comedy with jokes. Like, for example, when I did a roast for when I did the roast for the regular guys, I had a lot of material that I wrote. And I had a friend who helped me tweak some of my jokes and helped me do research because at the time when I did the first roast, I didn't know the regular guys very well or well enough to like how do I really attack these guys. Mm-hmm. So I got some notes from some friends, and I got off. I killed it, crushed this thing. I got off stage. This one comic, Big Kenny, came up to me, and he said, and he said, "Hey man, you did a hell of a job up there." Like, thanks, bro. He goes, "I guess I had a question. Yeah, did Reza help you with some of those jokes?" I was like. And I kind of had that awkward moment where I was going to look and I said, yeah, he gave me some help. And the reason Kenny knew was because Kenny taught a comedy class and Reza was in that class. So he knew Reza's style a little bit. So he could tell that Reza gave me a little bit of a help. And he said, and I kind of had that look on my face like, uh-oh. I thought he was going to make fun of me for it. He goes, dude, let me tell you something. Anybody can write a joke down on a piece of paper. Key thing is you got to deliver it. You got a hell of a delivery tonight, kid. You should be proud of yourself. I said, yeah, I had a little bit of help. He said, hey, everybody has a little bit of help. Don't think you're the only one. Don't act like you're the only one.
Let's be honest here. Adam Sandler ain't writing all of his own jokes.
And even Kevin Hart has said that he has two guys that are on the road with him constantly that help him tweak his material. Like Kevin Hart writes his material, but he has two friends that help him, like because they tour with him.
No. You said it that way. Say it this way.
Yeah, like he'll come off stage and go, "Hey man, that's really good, but if you try it this way, that might work a little bit better." And he said that anytime you see any of my stand-up specials, you see written by Kevin Hart and those two guys. He said, "You know why? Because they're my friends. I ain't gonna shit on my friends. You know, if you act like you did everything yourself, you shit on the guys that help you. I wouldn't do that to my friends."
Right.
So Reza gave me a little bit of help, but I had the general idea of what I want to say. And then sometimes Reza just had one joke that was just flat out great, and I just rolled with it. But yeah, so I understand that. So that makes perfect sense. And I think the caller has returned. So we're going to take this call, see what's on the person's mind. And hello, you're on the Boochcast.
Dun, 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 I'm back.
Uh-oh, ladies and gentlemen, it is the executive producer of television for the WWE and the Battle of the Shits champion, Kevin Dunn, has graced our presence today.
And the crowd goes fucking wild.
Yeah, about as wild as they go for Vince Russo.
Oh, that fucking old bastard. Look at you fucking bald bastard. You decided to be just like Vinny and shave your fucking head. You did a thing on Facebook. Way to go, you jack off.
You're just jealous that you can't look this good with a head this good. Pretty.
If I look like I just had chemotherapy, trust me, I do the same thing if I look too good with fucking hair.
Well, so Kevin Dunn, to what do we owe this pleasure?
Are we having some kind of battle of shit today? I mean, I'm ready to kick that fucking Gator Ricky Ross's fucking ass.
Well, we haven't actually set a date for the Battle of the Shits. Gator's not here today.
The fuck is wrong with that pussy nursery rhyme fucking pussy? It was supposed to set up for today. It was supposed to be today. I cleared my fucking schedule to show that punk, that nursery rhyming motherfucker, what the fuck was up. And what's he do? He pussies out like a fucking Gator Ross. He's probably sitting there learning some new nursery rhymes right now. It's fucking crazy.
I guess. I mean, we've been trying to figure things out. We were trying to set a date. I I never heard back from anybody. We've been trying to figure that out. So we were all.
My assistant, the Ryback himself, the guy who legally changed his name to Ryback, thanks to me. Okay, he's my assistant now because he's not working for WWE anymore. He's my personal assistant, and he told me it was going to be today. And he was fucking hungry. It was fucking crazy.
Well, Ryback got some bad information because your people didn't call my people, and I didn't get a call from Senor Sanjay, so I did not know. No, the Battle of the Shits. I don't know when that's going to happen, Kevin, but sadly, it's not today.
It's just typical of that fucking Gator Ricky Ross ducking out on Kevin Dunn again. First of all, who broke that motherfucker? I did. I'm the one who came on the show. I'm the one who beat him in the Battle of Shit because you know what though? That guy doesn't know shit. So he should have won the shit because he doesn't know shit. But no, I'm the fucking champion because I'm fucking know-it-all. Beaver teeth fucking winning motherfucker. I'm fucking done.
Okay. Obviously that is the case, I suppose. So basically, Kevin Dunn is pissed off because apparently someone told him Battle of the Shits was today, and that wasn't the case. I mean, if I wish I'd have known it was today, I would have had questions prepared. Hell, you would have had questions prepared. Like I said, we got back. Like again, your personal assistant. I guess the big guy is not up on his emails.
Apparently, either watching or listening to a different podcast. I totally listened to Vinny Bucci, and of course, he was probably watching some other stupid fucking podcast by some guy. I don't know, some JR guy. I don't know. He needs to start listening up and figure what the fuck's on. He knows I'm on this show. Everybody knows I'm the fucking star of the Boochcast, okay? Everybody fucking knows it. You know it, Desmond knows it, everybody knows it. You guys look forward to my presence because I am the epitome of everything you guys love.
I ran the damn thing. Like he's okay. Kevin
Vince McMahon runs WWE. That doesn't make him a star.
That's true. It's like, okay, so yeah. Sorry, Desmond and I are kind of lost here. Kevin Dunn is the star of the Boochcast. Okay. I guess he's a Brock Lesnar kind of star, I suppose, where he just shows up out of nowhere. I'm lost.
He's Brock Lesnar with less talent?
No, the thing is, when I appear, I make ratings. I make headlines. I'm the one who's doing everything for you. If it wasn't for me, your fucking show would be in the toilet, okay? I am Kevin fucking Dunn.
Okay.
You understand that? I'm the one that when people listen, they hang on for a small glimpse of hope that I might be on it. Everybody fucking knows it.
Okay. Obviously. It's nice to hear you're at least the star of something because in WWE, you're producing the television. You're not necessarily on camera or in front of the camera or anything like that. But speaking of producing television,
because of everything you love, it's because of me. Everything you love, everything you base your whole podcast around is because of Kevin motherfucking Dunn.
But Kevin, with all due respect, this is a wrestling podcast, and isn't it true that you don't like wrestling?
Oh, I fucking hate it. It's fucking horrible.
Then how are you the foundation for which a wrestling podcast show is based on?
What can I say? I'm a masochist for fucking pain. What can I say?
That makes perfect sense. Okay, that I'll agree with. That I'll agree to. That is making a little bit of sense. So, obviously, well, Kevin, since you are a television producer, one of the shows that you've produced is actually the season premiere is actually in about 2 weeks, October 5th. The season premiere, but the series premiere of Total Bellas is coming out, and that's going to be, of course, the Bella twins getting their spinoff show. It's going to feature Nikki, John Cena, Brie, Daniel Bryan, their mom, and John Laurinaitis. Because John Laurinaitis apparently is married to the Bella's mother now, and of course their brother and his girlfriend, who are the only.
Can you imagine how bad it would suck to be related to John Laurinaitis?
That's your stepdad? Like, that's weird. Yeah.
Hey,
As you can see, the
he's
two
in
stars.
the
He's in the bedroom with
Total
Divas
mom
are on my new
years,
TV
people.
show.
Ow.
Yeah. Yeah, baby, I know you like that.
As you can tell, the main stars of Total Divas are now having their own show. I think what's going to happen is Total Divas, the regular show, it's going to be okay. It's going to survive for another couple of seasons, but eventually, like all TV shows or reality TV shows, it's going to fizzle out. I needed something now. I needed something new. So what do I get? I got the Wonder Twins. And I got them on their Twin Magic Boom. You
do realize that the Wonder Twins, one of them was a guy, right?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
He said you said in the Wonder Twins, one of them was a guy. Like the original Wonder Twins.
Listen, I'm not gonna be like cooped up in your fucking geek fucking mythology. I'm talking about the Wonder Twins. I'm talking about the glorious asses of those Bella Twins.
Absolutely.
Apparently.
Because the question I was trying to get to while I was telling the story was and I guess you kind of answered it, but I was gonna ask how excited you were for Total Bella's coming out in a couple weeks, and do you expect it to do well?
I think it'll be fucking phenomenal. I think it's going to be one of my greatest creations I ever created, other than all the projects and all the stuff I've done for WWE. Other than that, I have done a lot of great things for the show. I think it's going to be a step above Total Divas. So if you like Total Divas, this show is going to be better and just more twin magic. It's going to be amazing. You're going to see a whole bunch of tits and ass. There's some dialogue in there, but you're going to see the girls in very weird situations, totally scripted. But at the same time, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, because of course the main premise of the show is going to be centered around Nikki Bella's neck surgery. Basically, at the time they filmed it, Nikki Bella had neck surgery, and she was going through the rehab to get back in the ring, and there was that question of whether or not she would even return to the ring. And what happens is she's recovering in the house she lives in with John Cena. And Brie and Daniel Bryan move into the house to help Nikki with the recovery. And basically you see the I don't want to say culture clash because they're all kind of the same group, but it's kind of a clash of lifestyles. Because Brie and Daniel Bryan are very much in, like, you know, hippies. Great. They're hippies. That's no way to put about it. They got the vegetarian, eco-friendly people, and John Cena and Nikki have the fine dining and wine tasting. Like, they're sophisticated rich people, kind of. They got kind of that lifestyle. They like the finer things in life, and they are eco-friendly. So you see that start to clash a little bit between Brie and Nikki and Cena and Bryan and all this other stuff as they're trying to coexist in this family. Because John Cena and Daniel Bryan, obviously, they somewhat get along and are, you know, they have to when you're dating the Bella, when one is dating the Bella twin, the other is married to a Bella twin. So you see that Cena and Daniel Bryan actually do get along a little bit outside the ring, even though they do have their differences. Like John Cena even said that he didn't like the way Daniel Bryan handled his neck recovery. Because he said that he should have gotten surgery instead of doing this natural bullshit. He would have got back in the ring. And he said, I broke my neck, I got surgery. Within a few months, I was back. So, obviously, you know.
Yeah, but fucking Daniel Bryan is a fucking hippie. He wants to go hug a fucking tree and go save one and shit like that. So he wants to do a natural way, that's fine. But you know what, though? He ain't fucking wrestling no more, is he? He sits there, put his finger in the fucking air, and acting like a fucking monkey up there. That's all he does. The show is based off his popularity to put his finger up in the air. That's all it is.
All right. Well, obviously, Kevin, you got to be a production for both shows. But do you have a specific side that you're on, or do you enjoy both shows equally?
I hate them both equally.
Okay, so you're liking both.
I hate them both equally.
Oh, you hate them both equally. Oh, okay.
At the same time, I got to say, though, I think I'm more in favor of maybe Raw because my son's on there, Kevin Owens. He's the closest thing to a son to me. We haven't really talked yet, but I would top that kid for sure. I mean, that guy has everything. He's got my size, my close haircut. I don't know. I mean, if I was to see myself as a champion, I'd look in the mirror and see Kevin Owens.
Okay. That's kind of a throne. I would have thought I didn't think Kevin Owens would be like a son to him. I guess is that I don't know. Is that because of Triple H taking a liking to him, or have you always been a Kevin Owens supporter?
I never really knew the guy. I guess they're making a belt. They're like, hey, we're going to give it to this guy. He's pretty good. And I was like, well, let me see a picture of him. Of course, I was expecting a bodybuilder or, some kind of, 6-foot tall monster. But no, it was like some guy. I could have sworn like he took a photo of me, and I was like, whoa. Like, you want to make me champion? And then, of course, Triple H kind of laughed at me for a bit. I mean, it was funny, because, everybody could understand the misconception, me want to be champion. But that's why Kevin Owens was like, that's me, guy.
I see. Okay, because let me see. All right. Do you have anything you want to say to Kevin Dunn? Desmond's taking a very long pause.
I don't think he wants to say anything.
It'll just be nice when your son gets his ass kicked by Finn Balor on his return.
I'm sorry, I couldn't quite hear that from the gargling sound of a cock in his mouth. What do you say?
He said it'll be nice when your son gets his ass kicked by Finn Balor when he returns.
That scarlet little bitch. He sat there and took a fucking power bomb and he dislocated his shoulder. Really? Yeah, that guy's really gonna come back and get his championship. Yeah, good luck, Finn. Yeah, you just sit back on your couch and recuperate.
You do remember NXT, right?
You
remember Finn Balor taking the championship away from Kevin Owens?
Right, and then who came to the roster and pretty much dominated for a long time. The only reason Finn Balor got over is because he's got a fucking entrance that lasts longer than fucking Undertaker's. Yeah, congratulations, kid. He's not a better athlete. He's nothing greater. You put him in size against someone like Kevin Owens or anybody bigger than Kevin Owens, Finn Balor's like a fucking midget who can squash right away. He's got some offense, but that's about it. He ain't got shit. Finn Balor's fucking Finn Balor. Kevin Owens is Kevin Owens for a fucking reason. The guy's been doing it for a long fucking time.
Absolutely. And, well, Kevin, one of the things we were going to talk about on the show, but I'll bring it up right now. This is something that I definitely want to get your thoughts on because apparently there's been rumors circulating the internet that WWE is interested. You guys are interested in signing Broken Matt Hardy. It says here, top WWE officials are reportedly interested in signing Matt Hardy when he becomes a free agent next year. Hardy has completely revitalized his career over the past year, transforming himself into Broken Matt and producing some of the most entertaining segments from any wrestling promotion. According to the Wrestling Observer, intermediaries of Triple H have made it clear to Hardy that he'd be welcome back in WWE. He hasn't worked for the company since 2010. Hardy's TNA deal runs through the spring of 2017. While the notion of Broken Matt back in the WWE Universe is full of entertaining possibilities, there are several hurdles along the way. Aside from whatever efforts TNA would make to keep the deranged performer, Matt currently has free reign over the creative direction of his character. He would have far less creative control in WWE, and he's very aware how different things would be with WWE's creative writer scripting Broken Matt. There is also the issue of WWE's travel schedule. Matt currently works limited dates for TNA and commands top dollar on the independent scene without having to endure everything associated with life on the road full time. So, Kevin, what is your thoughts on the potential of first of all, have you even seen the Broken Matt character? And if you have, what is your interest in seeing him in WWE, if there's any?
So you're talking about Matt Hardy, correct?
Matt Hardy, yes.
He left us?
Yeah, Matt Hardy left in 2010. The Hardys left.
Really? I could have sworn I just saw him the other day. I could have sworn he was in the locker room the other day. He's like, oh, my bike's broken. Is that the same guy we're talking about?
My bike's broken? No.
Yeah,
no.
Matt Hardy. He was like, oh, my bike's broken. Yeah, is that the guy you're talking about?
No, that's definitely not. Definitely not the guy I'm talking about.
That must be a different Matt Hardy then, I guess. In a locker room, talking about a broken bike.
Yeah.
So, I don't know about this guy, this Matt Hardy guy. I mean, what is he? I mean, I know we had a Matt Hardy a long time ago. He did this stupid shit with his fingers and stuff, and he wore like funky pants. But you always talk about broken bikes and shit. But I don't know about this Broken Matt. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, okay. Well, apparently Matt Hardy left WWE in 2010. A few years back, he went to TNA with where his brother Jeff is, and they had a rivalry. And during the rivalry, Jeff Hardy destroyed Matt Hardy in an I Quit match. Nobody said I quit, but he put him through a table. And why are you shaking your head?
Matt did say I quit.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
Not in the.
Yes, he did.
Not in the match.
Yes, he did.
When did he say it?
He had Matt tied to the table. Jeff's climbing up, and he's like, and the mic is being
That's WWE. I'm talking TNA.
Oh, okay.
This in TNA, nobody said I quit.
I didn't realize they had an I Quit match in the TNA.
They did. It was back when he was still Big Money Matt, and he was the TNA. You've not been following TNA at all. Jesus Christ.
All right. Well, anyways, listen, guys, listen. I'm gonna why I was proud to Matt Hardy. They want to bring him in. I just don't give a shit. I really don't care. I give two shits. He comes in, he comes out. People come in and out all the time. I'm just there to do what I'm supposed to do, and I just don't give a shit about wrestling. So if he brings him in, fucking awesome. If he doesn't, fucking I don't care.
Okay. So obviously we've got that. So I see. Well, interesting here. So all right. So Kevin, is there any? Do you have any? Other than obviously, I've been asking Gator this and haven't really been getting a straight answer. So we'll go back to the Battle of the Shits. Have you been doing any preparation for the Battle of the Shits? Any training at all to get ready for the upcoming fight with Broken Gator Ricky Ross?
Yeah, I've been having Ryback tell me the nursery rhymes every fucking. I don't give a shit. Listen, I'm the most brilliant mind in fucking wrestling. No one wants to admit to it. Everybody fucking hates me for whatever god reason. I have no idea. But at the same time, I don't fret for this shit. I am the smartest mind when it comes to this stuff. So Gator Ricky Ross, I broke you once. And once I get done with you, who knows what you might reincarnate us. I don't give a fuck. Papa Shango's got my back. He's right behind me, protecting me from all evil spirits. And I don't give a shit. Like, fuck Gator Ricky Ross. And nothing's going to fucking come of it. So, in preparation, set the shit up. Tell him right back when the fucking show's going to happen. And I'll be on the show. And I'll fucking kill him again. I'll break him this time. Even worse, if you think of knowing now, wait till he calls in the next time. It's going to be fucking horrible.
Also, I was just checking some stuff here online, and apparently there was an issue, and you can address the rumor right now. Apparently, there was an issue between you and Triple H around WrestleMania time. This is actually I recently found out about this. It says here that during WrestleMania week, when they were plugging all the major things that were going to be happening during WrestleMania week, like Access and the Hall of Fame, and of course WrestleMania itself in Dallas. Apparently, when there was NXT, when you guys were doing NXT TakeOver Dallas, apparently when you put the promo ad together, you had completely ignored NXT TakeOver, and apparently you failed to mention that NXT TakeOver Dallas would be taking place, and apparently Triple H was pissed off about it. What do you have to say about making this mistake, and what was the interaction between you and Triple H when he found out you completely ignored NXT TakeOver Dallas? And also, how did you make an error like that?
You should have seen the look on his face. Let me tell you, he was drinking some water, he spit it out like he always does. It was fucking hilarious. And he was like, hey bro, you didn't put like my NXT thing. And I was like, and of course I'm like, NXT, what the fuck? I mean, I thought I put it in there, and I told my guys to put it in there, but shit happens, and things fall through the cracks sometimes. I'm Kevin Dunn, shit happens, and I told him that shit happens, and he was excited. He was really mad, but he was just mad, and but the thing is, he can't really do anything now, can he? I mean, he's not in charge. I mean, he's getting there, but by the time he gets there, I'll be gone. So
tons of fucking matter. In the meantime, my whole plan is to throw a wrench in his plan every time I can. And he was pissed off. I didn't apologize. I don't give a fuck about it, really. And he's a fucking Neanderthal in a fucking suit. He spits water at people, which is fucking hilarious. But the thing is, who gives a fuck? I'm gonna fuck him every way I can to make sure that, you know, I come on top every time, because I'm gonna be that constant reminder, that constant thorn in his side to remind him that I am in charge until he takes over. And I will make it my everlasting point to make sure that NXT thing never really takes on.
Okay. All right. So obviously, that was the answer. So he kind of just, you know, so basically you're saying that you didn't intend, so you're saying that the incident with NXT was unintentional.
Oh, totally. No, it was intentional. It was totally intentional. I don't know. I just didn't give a shit. I looked at it. He was like, "Hey, could you put this in?" I was like, "Yeah, whatever." And then after, he was really mad. I was like, "Oh shit, you know, my bad." You know, Kevin Dunn does what Kevin Dunn does. You know, done. You know, it happened.
I see. And well, apparently another big story that's been going on is you know, an interesting thing that happened recently in WWE. I mean, that happened for WWE was that apparently you had some issues with another wrestler. There's been a list of wrestlers who have, you know, that have had issues with Kevin Dunn in the past. But one that was recent, apparently, was, I'm trying to find it here, was apparently Cody Rhodes is another guy that apparently Kevin Dunn has had issues with. Apparently Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn had issues with Cody Rhodes in the past. I'm trying to find the quote here, but it doesn't seem to be popping up. And it said Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn saw Cody Rhodes as, but apparently it's not here. And one of the big stories going around the wrestling world now, and this is another thing that I'll talk about because it wasn't included in the TNA recap, is that Cody Rhodes has officially signed with TNA and that his wife has signed with TNA as well. The only difference is that his wife can use the name Rhodes, but Cody apparently can't.
Because they own the name Cody Rhodes, not Rhodes itself.
Yeah. And Brandy was Eden Styles when she did her you know, ring announcing. So she can be legally used as Brandy Rhodes, but they're just calling him Cody for the meantime. He's just Cody. And they aired a vignette, and Cody at Bound for Glory will make his debut in TNA. So, Kevin, I want to say, what were the issues between you and Cody Rhodes, and what is your reaction to him joining the Aaron Rex, formerly known as Damian Sandow, on the TNA roster? Are you worried that it could take ratings away from the WWE?
There's no way it's going to happen. I mean, listen, TNA is a subpar wrestling promotion that's finally like wrestling traction. Listen, our company is way too big to worry about small little independent scenes, bingo halls, you know, who want to sit there and sell out crowds of like 100 people. I'm not worried about people like that. Cody Rhodes, afterthought. Demon Sanders, afterthought. His wife, afterthought. They're never going to amount to what we're doing as of right now.
Okay, so what were the issues that you guys were having with Cody Rhodes and the company?
So first of all, you gave him direction on when it came to the face paint. I told him to go with like instead of Stardust, I was thinking more like Square Dust. He didn't like it. You know, I said some rude things to his wife. She didn't really take it too well. This one time I was telling a story about how much I hated Dusty Rhodes. I didn't put two and two together that they were father and son, and he didn't like it too much. I said Goldust was a piece of shit. There was a whole bunch of different things all at once that kind of culminated. It was mostly his fault. I mean, I said some shit, but it was mostly his fault because it just seemed like his attitude towards me was like he just fucking hated me, like the same way everybody else does. But you know, he just fuck him. You know, he's gone. You know, he's gone. Who needs him? He's ready. Who cares? Eventually, we're gonna steal your ass, and she has to change her name mid-time when she's wrestling, so it's fine.
Okay, so you're saying that the move to TNA for Cody Rhodes It hasn't affected you at all.
None whatsoever.
Okay. All righty. So there we go. And on that note, that's all the questions I really got for Kevin Dunn. So Kevin, is there any other comments you wanted to make, or do you have a final message for Gator Ricky Ross before we set a date for the Battle of the Shits?
Yeah, bring your fucking nursery rhymes. Bring all the shit you have and get a fucking book or Wikipedia or a fucking clue because you're never going to beat Kevin fucking Dunn. Good night.
All righty. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the executive producer of television for WWE, Kevin Dunn. Kevin, we do want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule for calling in. Or, okay, I'll rephrase that. I will take time to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to call in. We're looking forward to Clash of Champions this Sunday, and hopefully, when we set a date, we'll see you in Broken Gator on the show again, and you guys will battle it out one more time, part 2, Battle of the Shit. So, thank you so much, Kevin, and we'll talk to you soon.
No problem. I hate you all.
All right, thank you. All right.
That's the nicest thing he could have said to me.
That is the nicest thing. It was very generous of him. Wow. I got a little teary-eyed. Just a little bit. All right, folks. And after those awkward phone calls, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take another break here. We're gonna take a short break here, and when we come back, we're gonna get into some more wrestling talk. We'll elaborate more on the possibility of Broken Matt coming to WWE, as well as a variety of other topics we're going to get into. So sit tight. We shall return right after this. Hello, and welcome back to the Boochcast. During the break there, we played the song with Derek Shapiro and his alter ego Rottweiler, Living in Fear. This is the song from the movie Horror Night Part 2, which is going to be coming out next Saturday at midnight on movieinternetchannel.yellowsite.com, as well as the Movie Internet Channel YouTube channel. I played the trailer at the beginning of the show earlier, and this is the song from the movie. As you guys know, Derek Shapiro always has a trailer, and he always has a song. Sometimes it's a cover song, sometimes it's a song, and in this case, it's a song he wrote. This basically is meant to plug the next Derek Shapiro film. As you guys know, Derek Shapiro makes a lot of movies. This is the next one in the upcoming series. Now, I will say this. If you have not seen the first Horror Night, I recommend between now and next Saturday taking time to go make sure you watch the first movie before you watch the second movie. That way you can understand everything that's gone down. It has all the original cast, some of the original cast coming back. Of course, Derek Shapiro is the star of the film, as well as I'm in the film. Jerry Truman is back for the first time in a long time to be part of the film. Also, my brother makes an appearance in the film as well. You got Serenity Rose, James Buddy Love Herring, Joe Bag, and of course, Derek would drive me crazy if I didn't mention the late Vincent Buddy Cianti is in it as well. So make sure you guys check out Horror Night Part 2 next Saturday at midnight on the Movie Internet Channel YouTube channel. And Derek actually called us earlier this morning before we went on the air and wanted me to play this song and review it. And I have thoughts, but I figured since Desmond is kind of the music guy on the show, he does the singing, the songwriting, he's kind of an expert in that genre. I figured I let him share his thoughts because I know how I feel, but Desmond and I, there have been times where we've agreed on something related to Derek and we've disagreed related to Derek. So I'm going to let Desmond share his thoughts. Desmond, Living in Fear.
All right, first thing I'm going to say here. When I heard Derek Shapiro wrote a song, I'm going to try to be as unbiased as I can because me and Derek have had a bit of a falling out. That's all I'm going to say about it. What happened is between me and him. But I will say this. Derek, I've only ever heard him sing karaoke songs, and they weren't that good.
Okay.
I don't know if that's just because I've only ever heard karaoke and he was drunk when he did them.
And he's been sober.
That was sober?
That was sober. I've never seen
You should have just let me think he was drunk.
Okay.
Okay, anywho. Let's ignore this for a minute. When I heard about this song, I'm thinking, okay, Derek wrote a song, whatever. I heard it was a metal song. So when I'm thinking metal, I'm thinking electric guitar, something, one note being repeated in rhythm over and over and over again. And,
yeah.
And that's not me bashing metal. That's just a stereotype, and it's true a lot. I listen to enough metal, I can say it is true.
It's true.
All right. This was not metal. This was goth industrial. It's a completely different genre of music.
Okay.
And it is the kind of music that is generally only used in overly goth horror movies, ones that are played in goth clubs. And there are two big criticisms I have here. One, I have no idea what the fuck he said in any of the lyrics. To me, it just sounded like he was singing the Mission Impossible theme. Dun, 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 dun. That's what I heard. That's what it sounded like to me. And I know I know the rhythm was a little bit off, but that's what it sounded like. It popped into my head, and I thought that's funny. So yeah. I'm going to go with it. And so I have no idea what he said. That is a criticism. And that's a big criticism for a lot of goth music and metal music as a whole.
Yeah.
If you can't understand it, people can't get behind it.
It's confusing.
But for a horror movie, as just a theme to be playing like quietly in the background, I can see it working. You know, it's not something I would want to play the entire movie.
Yeah.
But it's for certain scenes that are coming up, like, you know, the bad guy's starting to make an appearance or something like that, and that plays quietly in the background. That would be a good thing to play. Now, the second criticism. Why did it sound like Herbert the pedophile from Family Guy was whistling the entire damn?
Yeah, because that's the thing I had the problem with was the whistling. Because that's why I can't hear the lyrics. It's like it whistling, like, you know, I sure wish the paper boy would come by, bring me the news.
Hey. Yeah. If you're gonna make a high-pitched sound in a horror thing, it should be chains rattling or a saw or a blade sharpening on a grinder or something, or a screen door going open and close at a certain point,
Or starting up a chainsaw.
Yeah, it should not be over and over and over again. Now, the music itself, you know, as I said, for the goth industrial scene, if you ignore the whistling, the music itself wasn't bad. You know, I'm not very big into the goth industrial music style.
Yeah.
But as far as what that music does generally, that wasn't bad. It was about the same style, you know, as you hear for a lot of goth music. The biggest criticism I have is if you were gonna have a sound like that, it should have been something a little bit. It should have been one that should have been quieted down, should have been recorded separate and then lowered down volume. And two, it should have been something like a screen door opening, closing in rhythm.
Yeah.
And that would have been so much better. And it would have made it so much creepier. And it would have worked better for the horror movie. But all in all, for a song that a guy who is not a professional musician wrote, and for a horror movie, it fits the genre. It does work. There are some things that need to be tweaked. But all in all, it's not bad.
Okay. All right. There we go. So yeah, but my biggest criticism was that damn whistling.
Oh yeah.
Like that's it because it screeches so loud. Like there was a woman like yelling in there. I got that. It's a horror movie. There's gonna be screams. I thought it added to the thing. Absolutely. But that goddamn whistling, it's hurting my ears. Like I'm literally like I shiver like this, and I'm not shivering in fear. I'm shivering because my head hurts.
Right.
I had to take an aspirin after the show because of this goddamn song.
Yeah, it's like I said, the sound itself, it could work. It could work. But if you're gonna do it, it has to be recorded separately, and then edited in a lot quieter. You have to control the volume of something like that if you're gonna mix it into a song.
Yeah.
And that is something, Derek, you failed at. It wasn't horrible, but you failed at controlling the volume of that particular sound.
Yeah. And that is definitely something that just, I don't know what the hell is going on. Like,
that is about as unbiased an opinion as I can give you.
And I respect the fact that you gave that opinion despite the falling out. And that was Derek Shapiro and Rottweiler with Living in Fear here on the Boochcast. And make sure you check out the movie internet channel, .yellowsite.com for the Horror Night Part 2 movie. And on that note, we're going to go back to the wrestling talk here. And so when we last left, we were talking about, and this is just something that we're going to move on here to, the possibility of WWE signing Broken Matt Hardy. Now, one of the biggest concerns, as we mentioned, is that right now, currently in TNA, Matt Hardy has full creative control over this broken character. TNA management does not – I mean, of course, there's going to be some things they might talk about. There might be some little bit. But in terms of what he's going to say and what he's going to do, he has control over how the character's played, how the gimmicks are done. Of course, he'll have to sit in booking meetings to find out to get permission to do certain other things, like certain physicality things and segments, things like that. Obviously, those are things that TNA management does have a say over. But in terms of the gimmick itself, he's been given full creative control. The concern people might have in the WWE is that if he goes to WWE, will the creative team nitpick and dissect everything Matt Hardy does? Or if Matt puts a clause in his contract saying he wants full control over this character, will Triple H grant that to him? I don't know. How do you feel about Broken Matt coming to WWE?
I think there's one, and I mean this, one reason for Broken Matt to come to WWE with this character. And that is a Bray Wyatt feud.
Yes.
The possibilities for these two cutting promos on each other, they would never have to touch each other. And the hype for this match would just be through the roof.
Yeah.
The other thing I want to talk about here is because there's going to be, Broken Matt's character is limited in the sense that without Brother Nero, it's worthless. He's always had Brother Nero behind him. Or, whether he was the mule slave or now his actual partner.
Yeah.
Bringing him without Jeff Hardy would take away from the character.
You think so?
Absolutely. Because part of what he's been doing is he's had that follower. He's always had that follower. It was one of those things where it's like, and I did not like him. It's like I don't like him on his own like that, because it is like when he starts getting on my nerves with the talking, Jeff's doing something funny in the background to make up for it.
Yeah.
And so it's like sometimes the talking's cool and all, but there's a point where you have to have something else there keeping it separate.
Yeah. And the question is, would they let him bring Rebby over, his wife? And, of course, you also have to bring Senor Benjamin, because Senor Benjamin's now becoming a bit, not like a wrestler, but he's become like part of the skits and everything. And also, Senor Benjamin, of course, is the father-in-law of Matt Hardy. He's Rebby's father. So that's probably why he's comfortable playing the role that he's playing.
Right.
Because he knows it's bringing money. He knows it's bringing in money that's helping, build this lavish lifestyle. And it's true. And the thing is, I want to know, will he get to bring everybody over?
And even if it's just Jeff or
it's just Brother Nero.
Yeah. Because let's be honest here. If they bring him over, there's gonna be some dollar bills, y'all.
Yeah. Especially if Broken Matt and Brother Nero go into the tag team division. Right. It looks like right now it looks like they are, as I said before, they are primed to be TNA tag team champions.
Right.
If you bring them to WWE, you cannot treat them the way they treated the Dudleys.
Oh, absolutely not.
I don't know how they got away with it with the Dudleys, but you bring the Broken Hardys to WWE and you relegate them to kickoff shows and WWE main events. You deserve to be. Every wrestling fan should be able to line up outside Stamford, Connecticut, and just slap Vince in the face. Every wrestling fan, if you do that to the Broken Hardys.
Absolutely. And it's something we're seeing here. They can't keep bringing legends back and then shitting all over them.
Yeah.
If the fans don't like it, it's taking away from the company.
But and it's the fine line. Because on the one hand, here's the thing. Obviously, when you bring a legend back, you want to use that legend in some capacity to put some talent over.
Absolutely.
But this is what people don't understand about that. And it's something that some wrestling fans don't get. And it's something that creative obviously didn't understand when it came to the Dudleys. Is that when you put somebody over, it has to be the right person, first of all, at the right time. And you got to let them build a winning streak before they get wiped out. Like, I remember in 2002, Hogan did an interview.
Right.
Where he talked about when he put over Brock Lesnar on SmackDown. Right. When, he did the bear hug thing, Hogan went out and Lesnar won the match because he beat the Hulkster. And he said that he was happy to put over Brock, had no problems with it at all. His only complaint was that he felt that I should have had a bit of a winning streak before Brock Lesnar wiped me out. But he had beat me and I was getting beat on TV almost every other week. Because if you look at that 2002 run, he lost more than he won.
Yeah, I mean,
he lost to the Rock. He won the world title, but he beat Triple H.
Right.
Then he lost the belt to the Undertaker. Then he and Triple H had a number one contender match on SmackDown. Triple H won that. So Hogan was putting people over on his last run out the door.
And yeah, if you put people over, but you're always losing, the put over means less.
It does.
You have to be like right now. They've been building Kane up to be unstoppable again. So when somebody finally beats him, it's going to mean something.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah, that's what they got to do. And it's like what they're doing with Braun Strowman and the enhancement talent and Nia Jax. Like eventually Braun's going to lose a match. We don't know to who, but you can tell and this is what I love about the Braun Strowman match. I'm going to say this right now. I love that when they had jobbers in the ring, he wasted them. But when it came to a guy like Sin Cara at least put up a fight.
Right.
So that tells you Sin Cara is not a jobber anymore. Braun Strowman
he's still jobbing out, but he didn't just lose to one move.
And he sent Braun Strowman to the outside, and he drop kicked him, even though he didn't. And even though Braun Strowman didn't fall, he kind of staggered back notice he staggered back a little bit. And it was and he caught himself on the ring barrier, so he didn't fall, but he didn't just kick him, and then Braun just looked down that's all you had. He sold it.
Right.
So and that's the key thing, and that is what builds everything. You have to do that. That's why Sting didn't work out very well, because they had Triple H beat him at WrestleMania, and then you had Seth Rollins beat him at Night of Champions, which I'm sorry, that will go down as one of the most despicable moments I've ever seen in WWE. I'm sorry, that's one of the worst moments of wrestling for me, right there. I say it and I just get angry. When I say it, I get angry.
His comedy friend that he met in California, remember this moment.
Well, I didn't meet him in California. I met him in Vegas. But
yeah, same thing.
But I'm just saying that was a bad moment. But my point is this: is when you look, is that you got to build the guys up a little bit and let them beat some people, and then you got to job out the right person. Like with Stone Cold when he walked out on WWE in 2002.
He made it clear he had no problem putting somebody over if the money in the business was right.
And he said that you got Austin versus Lesnar on Monday Night Raw as a King of the Ring qualifying match. No, this is a match you put on pay-per-view. And Austin, like he said, he sat down with Vince. Vince told him, and Austin went, "Really? That's what we're doing?" But Vince thought he would
be here.
But Vince, no. What happened was Vince misread what he meant by "really." When Austin said it, he was saying it sarcastically. Vince didn't catch the sarcasm. He thought it was he thought he was following him. Okay, really? All right, that's what we're going to do. No, Austin was like, "Really? Seriously? We're going to do this?" And Vince was like, yeah. Vince did not catch the sarcasm that Austin was throwing at him. And that's when Austin decided, I'm out the door. This is bullshit.
I won't be there.
And he was already mad going forward, but he was still doing his job. But when he heard this shit, that was all right, I'm done. And even he admits, I shouldn't have done it. But at the time, that's how mad I was. He regrets it to this day. He talked about how when he came back, he had to apologize. He had to take the walk of shame around the locker room. He had to apologize to The Undertaker. He apologized to The Rock. He apologized to everybody for making that horrible decision.
One man he needed to apologize, Lesnar.
Well, Lesnar was, I think by the time, I don't know if he ever apologized to Lesnar. Him and Lesnar never really, the first time they ever really talked about it was on that Stone Cold podcast. Lesnar said it didn't bother him at all. Now he understands from a business, because he understands business.
Right.
Lesnar's I understand business. Because he told him out, he said, "Did you have a problem with me not wanting to put you over?" I said, I may have had that problem. I may have been frustrated about it at first, but I understand from a business standpoint why you did it. That, it wasn't about, I don't want to put over Lesnar. It's no, I don't want to put Lesnar over in this capacity. Build us to a match, and then I'll put him over. Give me a pay-per-view match.
I was hell, if you want to make us King of the Ring, make us the final two.
Yeah. Make us the final two in this King of the Ring tournament. And then Lesnar kicks my ass, becomes the King of the Ring.
After I was already King of the Ring, and it made me famous. Right there, that's a story right there.
Yeah. And then Lesnar could have had his Austin 3:16 kind of moment. Where he could have had something like that, where he beat Stone Cold, especially if Lesnar did that today with the attitude that he has. It sounds like he would say, "Get this piece of garbage out of my ring. You ain't got what it takes anymore.
I take shits bigger than you."
Exactly. Said that about Conor McGregor, which is the best line I've ever heard. What are your thoughts on Conor McGregor? I take shits bigger than him. What? I love Roman's line was great too. He said, "You're the size of my leg. Shut up." That's all Roman wrote. Motherfucker, you're the size of my leg. I would kill you. But anyway, On that note, we're going to move on to the next topic here because we have to talk about this because it's been blowing up social media. It's been blowing up every dirt sheet on the planet, whether or not this could happen. And there's so many articles, it's almost serious. But it says here, WWE made a recent offer to buy TNA. How much is TNA worth? TNA Wrestling is for sale, and the company is fielding offers from some familiar competitors. According to the New York Post, both WWE and Sinclair Broadcasting, who owns Ring of Honor, are rumored to have made recent offers to buy TNA. Over the past year or so, WWE has acquired the talent that defined TNA over the past decade, including AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Bobby Roode, and Eric Young, and of course, Austin Aries. They had mentioned Austin Aries, but he should be in there. The real value for WWE would be acquiring TNA's tape library to enhance the network archives. How much would that cost? The Post speculates TNA would sell for $40 million. But industry insider Dave Meltzer says that figure is far too high. Nobody is paying $40 million. Take 10 off. In addition to the majority owner and chairwoman Dixie Carter, Billy Corgan, Arlock's Marketing, and Canada's Fight Network all have equity stakes. This is the first time we've seen the Fight Network stake in TNA publicly acknowledged. So Dixie Carter, Billy Corgan, Arlock's Marketing, and Canada's Fight Network are all equity holders of this company. In fact, Billy Corgan has actually been trying to buy as many as possible because Billy Corgan is now the new president of TNA. Dixie Carter is the chairwoman now. So Billy Corgan is now in charge of this company. With TNA's long-standing financial struggles and Billy Corgan taking over Dixie Carter's role as the leader of Impact Wrestling, he's the president, Corgan hopes to expedite a sale and get on with the next chapter of TNA's story. I would love nothing better than to stand up in front of everyone and give a clear picture of where this company is and where it's going, he said.
Well, if WWE ends up buying it, then it's going to disappear.
Yes. And of course, when people find out that that WWE wants to buy TNA and all this other stuff, and here's updates on the rumor. It says here that recently made an offer. Dave Meltzer confirmed on Wrestling Observer Radio that WWE has made at least one offer to acquire the Sterling promotion, but it was an unofficial offer and not recently. The primary asset WWE is interested in is the tape library. Meltzer added that Billy Corgan has already invested more in TNA to acquire 30% ownership than WWE offered for the entire company. Multiple sources are now flat out denying the New York Post report that WWE and Ring of Honor's parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting, recently made bids to buy it. As for who planted the story in the Post, it would be somebody who wanted to drive up the sale price of the company. We'll let you draw your own conclusions there, and we will. The eventual buyers will most likely come down to Corgan and an undisclosed party, for which there are non-disclosure agreements going around to keep things quiet. Arlux is not the other party working with Corgan to buy TNA. They had until September 1st to submit an offer and did not exercise that right. The Post report stated that Arlux, Corgan, Dixie Carter, and the Fight Network all have stakes in TNA, and that Arlux recently took over their TNA trademark because TNA is so financially strapped right now. So they now own the trademark TNA. So if Arlux gets taken out, they have to change the name back to just Impact Wrestling. They no longer own the TNA
WWE
marker.
Impact Wrestling.
Yes. Corgan hopes to purchase TNA prior to Bound for Glory, which takes place October the 2nd. So the big question is, should WWE should TNA sell to the WWE?
If they want it to continue going, probably not.
Yeah. Do you think $40 million is a realistic offer for TNA to sell?
I will say this: with their current storylines, it would be great, but until they have unless they had an actual time slot on a reasonable fucking channel that was worthwhile, they're worse off than SmackDown was.
Yeah. But the thing is, $40 million, Vince could easily afford that.
Vince could throw $40 million out of. It's like he could look at his grandkids' little the grandkids' funds here. It's like oh well, yeah, that's only a month of his fucking
Allowance
here. Hey, You want TNA? Okay, cool.
Yeah, exactly. I bought it for my grandson because I got it like that.
Come on.
But here's the big question that would happen. Let's say WWE does in fact buy TNA. They own TNA. This is another big question. Because I know WWE has never saw TNA as a threat. They never saw TNA as competition, really. But with the amount of stars that have left TNA, gone to WWE, and become big stars, and with the broken Matt Hardy angle being the most talked about thing in wrestling, to the point where even WWE superstars, they said when they were on tour in Japan, they were in the locker room watching the final deletion. Like when the final deletion happened between Matt and Jeff, when Matt ultimately acquired the rights to the Hardy name, they were all watching it. Like Jericho said, John Cena was there and he was loving it, and Simon Gotch from the Vaudevillains loved the production value. Cena was amazed. Like Jericho loved it. Like they were all watching the final deletion. Everybody had something to say. So my big thing is, do you think WWE would do an invasion angle similar to what WCW and ECW did, or maybe do it right this time?
Also, they would have to do it right to make it work. They would have to start build. They would have to move TNA. They'd have to work with USA. Move TNA to the USA Network. Put it on maybe a Wednesday night or a Tuesday, something, or put it on Thursday night where SmackDown used to be.
Yeah,
they would have to make TNA live. No more pre-recording. No more bullshit where people know what's going to happen 2 months in advance.
Yeah.
All right. They would have to. And then they would have to make TNA actually good. And then once TNA starts getting popular, then you have a TNA star, just one big TNA star, attack somebody on Raw. And then another one attack somebody on SmackDown. And then in retaliation, we start seeing stuff. And then eventually we'll have a Survivor, and then it would have to go to like a Survivor Series.
Yeah.
And TNA would have to go have their team against Team WWE.
And have to be Raw and SmackDown banding together to take on TNA because they realize we can't do this alone. So Shane and Stephanie form another alliance,
and then
similar to WCW, right. ECW thing.
And then for it to truly take off, and to throw, because everyone's going to be like WWE, Team WWE has to win. Here's what you do: TNA wins. Hold on. TNA wins. They start building it where more and more TNA is taking over. And eventually you build this. This could be a fucking year-long rivalry. You can take it. You move it on. It keeps going. And then at WrestleMania, you have the rights. TNA versus WWE. They both pick they do it in like an elimination chamber. But this is where WWE has the advantage. Two Raw superstars, 2 SmackDown superstars, 2 TNA superstars. Winner take all. And then that's when the contract for the business gets put up for grabs in the ring.
Well, for that to be a winner take all, that would mean that at some point Shane and Stephanie would have to turn on each other.
Well, after they lost to TNA, why wouldn't they?
So you're saying after the TNA rivalry,
they blamed each other.
WWE starts imploding, so then we finally have Stephanie, Shane, and whoever's in TNA, Dixie Carter, Billy Corgan. Billy Corgan maybe, but Dixie Carter has to be there because Dixie's been part of it. Or if you do something, or you can turn a complete 180, sign Jeff Jarrett.
Right.
Because it looks like Global Force Wrestling ain't doing nothing.
Right.
We haven't heard shit from them.
Right. So what you do is you get the setting work it up. And you have TNA, you have Raw against SmackDown against TNA. The winner take all owning the entire company, and then you finally assimilate TNA into WWE.
And then it could be something where it could be either Stephanie owning everything or Shane owning everything. And that could be like the McMahon, because Stephanie, because you've always heard the rumor that at some point there's going to be a battle for control of everything.
Right.
So that's when we finally have it. It's an elimination chamber. You get 2 Raw. The Raw's 2 best guys. SmackDown's 2 best guys. And I think if you did this,
They really should let me book this shit.
They should. That was. I didn't even think of this. I was thinking Survivor Series 5-on-5, and that was the end. You fucking extended this shit. Like, holy crap, that's brilliant. But now, of course, if we're gonna pick 2 and 2 for SmackDown, if you're gonna, for TNA, if you're gonna pick 2 guys, it has to be Styles and Joe because they were the 2 top stars in TNA for years.
But here's the problem. What if Joe has turned his table? Because Joe's pretty much known as a turncoat. Let's be honest here. He wouldn't want to join TNA. He wouldn't want to go back to them.
Maybe.
He's already turned against them. They would write that into the story to where he is like, of course I came back. Of course I came to WWE. Y'all were worthless to me.
Good point.
So whichever at that point, by the time that came around, he would be on Raw or SmackDown.
Okay.
And
because I was thinking like in the storyline where the original TNA guys kind of turn in the line with
I think you
TNA.
take the 2 biggest guys in TNA right now. So you put Bobby Lashley and you put Bobby Lashley and broken Jeff Hardy or broken Matt Hardy in.
Okay, in the chamber. And then for SmackDown, we would probably have John Cena. I think it would be Cena and Orton for SmackDown.
Cena and Orton or Cena and Styles?
One of those 2, yeah. Assuming Styles is on if Styles is on that team, then yes. Because that and then of course for Raw, it would have to be
But that's the thing is you can have Styles turn on Cena because they're already against each other. And everybody thinks he's joining TNA, and then he goes to win it for himself. And then goes and takes out the TNA guys, and then a Raw superstar wins. Because let's be honest, Raw's gonna win. Let's be straight.
because they're probably gonna. Stephanie's more likely to control the company than Shane, unless Shane really wants the job this time around. Because Shane did leave over creative differences.
Right. So I mean, it really just depends on how things go. But in the long run, yeah, so you set it up, and then you have the champ. That's how you finally assimilate everything in together.
Absolutely. And speaking of TNA, we touched on this briefly, so we'll talk about it here. But Cody Rhodes is going to debut at Bound for Glory. TNA has signed Cody Rhodes. He's officially going to be a part of it. His wife is an Impact as well.
Here's the question I have.
Okay.
Does he have a match at Bound for Glory, or is he just going to make an appearance?
Right now, it looks like just an appearance. Right now, unless there's an impromptu match where someone comes out and challenges him. This is probably going to be Cody Rhodes coming out on live pay-per-view to do what Damian Sandow did. Talk, cut a promo, air his grievances. They're probably because I think just Cody on a microphone on live pay-per-view because he's been fired by WWE. I mean, he asked to leave WWE. He's mentioned on one podcast because he said he wasn't going to do a bunch of tell-all bullshit. He did one podcast eventually where he talked a little bit about why he left. There's clearly he has a chip on his shoulder, a little bit. So I think just him with a microphone is going to be enough because Sandow with a microphone was enough.
That blew me away. I wasn't expecting that from him.
When he came out and did that promo and he said, I was too entertaining to be given opportunities for world titles. And then talked about, that this is an even playing field and this is why it's great. Everybody's preordained to be champions. And not only is your intelligence insulted, but your opinions are thrown out the window. Where he just got vocal. And you were like, I didn't know he was capable of that. I wish that guy had been in WWE.
Right.
I would have been okay with him cashing that briefcase with him. I probably would have been okay with him winning the Money in the Bank if that was him.
Absolutely.
And Cody, speaking of the Money in the Bank, I don't know if we mentioned this, but Cody mentioned in an interview that Money in the Bank where he got pushed out the ladder and Sandow won, Cody was told weeks in advance going into that pay-per-view that he was going to win, that he was supposed to win that night. They changed it the night of Money in the Bank. It was changed that Sandow was going to push him off the ladder, and that's when Cody really got mad. Because he was told he was going to be Mr. Money in the Bank. And if you see that match, he should have been Mr. Money in the Bank with the crowd reaction he was getting. At one point, he was in the ring by himself. That crowd went insane for Cody Rhodes. Like, louder than I've ever seen anyone chant for Cody ever.
Yep. Well, what it comes down to is And Cody Rhodes would be great. Now imagine this though. If WWE does buy out TNA and Cody is on Team TNA.
Oh, that will make for some kick-ass promos.
Imagine the 5-on-5. You have Bobby Lashley, Broken Matt Hardy, Aaron Rex, Cody Rhodes.
All the disgruntled WWE employees.
And of course, if you're gonna have Matt, you might as well have Brother Nero.
And he comes in, and then they could cut those promos like this meek Mahan show tried to render us obsolete, and they just go off and they say, we will do what the Alliance could never do, and that is delete.
So yeah,
that would be awesome.
But yeah, it's like, that's how you book it though. You book it to where it's like everybody's like, oh, WWE's gonna win. It's a big pay-per-view. They can't have the other. And then you book TNA to win, and then you realize this rivalry is far from over.
far from over.
And then with the Royal Rumble, you'd have 10 Raw, 10 SmackDown, 10 TNA stars.
Absolutely. And on that note, we're gonna change topics here for just a second. This is a big one. This is just something that paid tribute. Trish Stratus reflects on her career 10 years after retirement. WWE Hall of Famer Trish Stratus posted a reflective message on Instagram on the 10-year anniversary of her WWE retirement. It's amazing to think she's been away for that long, but she made a huge impact on the business and is arguably one of the most successful female wrestlers of all time. And this is on Trish Stratus's Instagram. 10 years ago today, I took my final bow at the Air Canada Center in front of my hometown crowd in #the6th. A bitter day as I was closing the chapter on my WWE career, but I was about to embark on the next chapters of the rest of my life. I couldn't have asked for a more perfect setting to say goodbye. To have my retirement match in Toronto against my arch rival and bestie at Machete Girl, which is Lita, and to do something that had never been done before, to enter the history books as a 7-time WWE Women's Champion. Well, it was something dreams are made of. Even too amazing for an ambitious athletic wrestling fangirl to dream of. Who would have thought that the opportunity to be part of the WWE family I was presented with in 1999 would have led to this? All I knew in 1999 was that I was capable athletically and I had a passion for wrestling that was fueled by a drive and ambition that had pushed me to try to be the best in every other area in my life. I knew that if I was given the chance, I would take that ball and run. I knew I wanted to change the perception of how women are reviewed in the wrestling world. I knew I wanted to be remembered as one of the best. I'm thankful for the opportunities WWE gave me and for having Fit Finley be my partner in crime to help navigate them. I'm thankful for all the hard work, athletic, kick-ass ladies.
Finley's married to Trish?
No, he was just a road agent that helped her out. Okay. He's married to somebody else.
Okay, I want to say, wait a second. How did that motherfucker?
I was gonna throw it too. I'm thankful for all the hard work, athletic, kick-ass ladies I got to work with. I'm thankful to have had the support of you guys for the whole ride. Watching me fall down and then dust myself off and get up. Watching me grow up before your very eyes. And to have you guys still be here by my side is everything. It's been 10 years since I retired, 16 years since I started wrestling. And here we still stand. I've got some Stratusfaction to deliver if you want it. Here's to another decade of Stratusfaction. # thank you W Universe. # decade of Stratusfaction. # 7-time women's champion.
Bitch was only in wrestling for 6 years.
Now that I think about it, yeah, kind of. It's weird when you realize how short that number is years later, because you feel like she would have been there forever.
I mean, how long was Lita in? I mean,
I don't know. I know
she debuted with S.A. Rios. That's before the Hardys.
Yeah, so she's been around for a while. She's been around for a good decade.
Yeah, and she was there until with the stuff with Edge and Kane,
and she kind of left after that, mostly because she was tired of the
drama being rehashed.
Yeah, well, because people kept saying that Lita was a hoe, and they were playing off of that because she was a heel, and she got tired of that because she realized all her hard work pretty much went down the drain because fans were pissed off over the fact that she cheated on Matt with Edge.
Yep, and
that pissed off a lot of fans, especially when it affected Matt Hardy's career in WWE dramatically. And they said, and then that was an issue. But Trish, and this is the usually thing about Trish that I love about Trish is this. whenever I hear wrestling fans go off and they say something not about the Bella Twins and Naomi and a lot of other people, and look, I'm not saying they're in the same that they're as good as Trish. I'm not claiming that. But the number one thing they used to say is we're sick and tired of all these models in WWE. Why can't we get people in here that are wrestlers? Why we got to get all these models and these fitness models and bodybuilders and all this shit? What people forget is that Trish didn't have an indie wrestling background. She was a sports fitness model who was brought in because of her looks. When she debuted, she was the original. She was in the original TNA. Before there was a TNA wrestling, there was Test and Albert, and Trish was the manager. She came out and said, "You guys want to see some TNA?" And the crowd goes fucking nuts because we all know that means tits and ass. So we think she's gonna take her clothes off. Nope. Test and Albert come out. And they were a tag team, TNA, with Trish as their manager. So she was a valet and then integrated into the wrestling ring and then eventually became one of the best and one of the all-time greats in WWE. So don't tell me that being a model can't make you a talented wrestler because
Tyler Breeze.
Look at that too. Yeah. Look. Well, I think Tyler Breeze might have wrestled in the Indies. I don't know. But Trish didn't hump the indie circuit. She didn't wrestle in bingo halls and
she most definitely worked her way up WWE.
She did. She busted her ass. But my point is, you can not come from the indies, and if you put the work in, you can still be a respected wrestler in the industry.
Right.
But a lot of fans today feel like if you didn't come through the indie circuit, if you didn't wrestle the high school gyms and the abandoned barns and the smoky-filled rooms, that you aren't worthy of having a contract with WWE.
Randy Orton.
Exactly. Like they're saying that they want to see the people that came through that.
The Rock.
Yeah. I'm saying that there's some guys who didn't go that route, but still went on to become one of the biggest stars in the industry.
Whoa. Here's the Big Show.
Yeah. Big Show came straight into WCW. Won the world title in his goddamn debut.
Yeah, let's be honest. He sucked. Let's be honest.
He admits he sucked. But the point is that if you put the work in, it doesn't matter as long as you're putting the work in.
Right.
And sometimes, even if you're putting the work in, people still don't give you that respect, which bothers me immensely.
Oh, yeah.
And I know it bothers you too. Like, for example, you're one of the people that says, look, Roman Reigns ain't the best technical wrestler in the world, but you acknowledge when he improves and gets better.
Absolutely.
And you're at least willing to see that. But some people, they'll never see that because they just flat out have that hatred.
There's so too many people are. This is why I've got to the point where I'm this close to getting off of every wrestling fan page on Facebook I am part of. I am this close because I'm tired of arguing with people who are so goddamn biased. That look, I'll be the first to tell you. For years, I could not stand The Miz. I couldn't stand him in the ring. I couldn't stand him on the microphone. He was a worthless piece of shit, as far as I was concerned. We're not talking about your personal business with him.
I know. I just smile when I hear it. Look, it's a natural reaction. It's like sneezing.
But The Miz improved.
Keep going.
He got better. He's better in the ring. I mean, he's still not the best in the ring competitor. He's not. He never will be. Because, as Daniel Bryan says, he's got a very safe style.
Yeah.
It's not fun to watch. Now, I will say he's a lot more technically sound than he used to be. His matches are a lot smoother than they used to be. He sets things up properly. And God damn it, if his mic skills did not improve immensely. I mean, have you not seen his recent promos?
Yes, I have seen them.
And you hate how good they are.
I hate them, period. So,
You hate
but
how good they are.
but I all I know is this: when I see the Miz, I can somewhat understand the Roman haters a little bit, because again, you're acknowledging the improvement. But the difference between me and the Roman haters is
Personal.
I met the Miz in person. I have personal issues with the Miz. Most of you never met Roman a day in your lives, and you hate and you have that level of hatred. My level of hatred stemmed from personal shit through 2 moments with the Miz, where he was in studio acting like a dick and was supposed to call in and was unprofessional and blew us off. And here's the thing about me. And I'm learning this, and I'm starting to realize this is becoming a trend in all of sports, which I'm somewhat starting to appreciate. I don't give a fuck how talented you are. You're unprofessional. I don't like you. Simple as that.
I can believe that. I can understand that. But at the same time, that does not affect your in-ring work. And as an in-ring performer,
Yes.
he has gotten better.
Yes, and that's what I have you for, to put that message across, because I'll be too stubborn to do it. So that's why I'm like, that's what I have you for. So
And it's like, I'm the same way with a lot of people. It's like, how long did I say I hated Tyler Breeze?
long ass time. You were pretty much the only person I knew who did, when everybody else was. Although I admit, my first impression of Tyler Breeze was bad. When I first saw him, I didn't like it. It took a couple of weeks, but that grew on me.
Okay, speaking of people who are growing on me, and you're gonna get the biggest smile on your face.
Okay.
I'm loving Bo Dallas's new character.
Me too.
He's not
Me too.
squeaking no more. He's not squeaking. Thank fucking God. I like the cold. I like the rhyming cold.
Yeah.
Cool. And he is so much more vicious in that ring, and I'm getting behind him.
Oh yeah. Only I can believe in Bo. And you're just like, the first time you see it, you're like, I saw it, I was like, okay, what the hell's going on here? Then I saw him being aggressive in the ring, and I went,
he's completely repackaged.
that's a 180 turn.
He's still being a heel, but he's doing it so much better.
Yeah.
And because my biggest thing with him is I could not stand the man on the mic, and I found him boring in the ring. He wasn't especially bad in the ring, just boring.
Yeah.
I was like, I never doubted his ability. He was smooth. He did okay, fine. But if you're boring, you're boring.
Yeah.
But I love it's like he still doesn't have a crazy moveset, but his aggression puts more into the match.
Exactly. It's amazing. It's amazing. And on that note, we're going to move on to the next topic here, mostly because this is something that we almost touched on earlier with Frank. Because you mentioned before about the potential for a Ziggler heel turn.
Yes.
Well, that may be coming to light. Here's something. A new stable being discussed for the SmackDown brand. There's talk of forming a new stable on SmackDown brand that would feature talent with collegiate wrestling credentials, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. The group would be similar to the classic Varsity Club that competed in the NWA WCW in the late 80s and the early 90s. Names discussed for this group include Dolph Ziggler as the leader, Jack Swagger, and when he's medically cleared, Shelton Benjamin. Benjamin recently underwent shoulder surgery. He'll be out for 5 to 6 more months. Chad Gable is the most accomplished amateur wrestler on the roster and actually headed up a shooter's stable in NXT at one point. He was a part of a shooter's stable that had like Angelo Dawkins and Shire Fulton, I think his name was. You're not going to know these names. I barely remember these names. But I know Chad Gable led that before him and Jason Jordan became a tag team.
I could not I would not like Chad Gable to leave this American Alpha, though. They are too damn good together.
No, I'm pretty sure they would both join. Because Jason Jordan was an amateur wrestler, too.
I can kind of see it, but I don't want to see them go heel. I really don't. They're the one they are the one major face team right now that I like as faces.
Well, so I'm just saying. Obviously this is not going to happen anytime soon because if it involves Shelton, they have to wait for him to come back.
Right.
So could you see a heel turn with them months down the road?
It would take a lot.
Okay.
I'm not saying it wouldn't work. I'm just saying it would take a lot because they are so over with the fans.
Yeah. And
we don't have a whole lot of face teams that are really over with the fans.
Yeah, we got Slater and Rhino. That's about it.
Yeah.
It's them and American Alpha.
Yeah.
In terms of being over.
Yeah.
The Usos are over his heels.
Yeah, they're amazingly over his heels. And they're doing and I am so happy to see them this way.
Yeah. And I like the fact they're doing the Varsity Club thing.
I will say this, though. The Usos need to find a better outfit than the one they wore this past week on SmackDown.
I think they're trying to experiment with heel clothes.
I liked the black cargo pants thing they did the week before. That was kind of cool. But I don't like the weird red thing that they got going on last week.
Yeah, that was kind of I'll admit that was pretty awkward. And let me see. I'm trying to see what the next article I want to talk about here is. This one is pretty serious. This one is you know what? I'm gonna say this one for later today because I don't want to end it on a sad note. But we'll just talk. You know, we already talked about Brandy Rhodes. Talks about here's the thing. Brandy Rhodes, Eden Styles talks about signing with TNA Impact Wrestling. Sorry. Now it's been confirmed that she's signed with the company, but here's the thing: she's not signing on as a ring announcer. They're gonna have her wrestle.
Well, we'll see if she's any good.
Yeah.
I mean,
they said that they're proud to announce the signing of Brandy Rhodes to their world-renowned knockouts division. Lord knows they need more knockouts. Definitely. And, you know,
the question is, will she be the next Maria or will she be the next Gail Kim?
Yeah. Well, there is a rumor that they're bringing both of them in and eventually they're going to feud with Mike Bennett and Maria. There's going to be a storyline with the Rhodes and the Bennetts. They're going to have that.
I mean, of course, I haven't seen Maria in anything recent, but I remember back in the day, she wasn't worth watching.
I don't think she's. I'm trying to see if she's ever wrestled in a match. She's mostly been a manager and a valet. She's the current Knockouts champion, and she basically what happened was there was a 5-way match or something, and her assistant Allie.
I remember I saw that.
Allie when she won the Knockouts championship.
She knocked out and fell on it.
And then won the Knockouts championship. And here's the thing that people need to understand. This is what bothers me about Josh Matthews and a lot of other things that bothered me about the show was they were saying that, you know, Allie's not a wrestler. That bothers me because we found out through research she is.
But she's not in the storyline, and that's what matters.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. But a lot of people on the internet believed it. Like people understand that Allie, a wrestler, did win the Knockouts championship. This isn't like a David Arquette kind of thing.
Now she shouldn't have won it that way.
Yeah.
Because she did have that background, they should have done a better build for it.
Yes. Because she wrestles on the indie circuit as Cherry Bomb. There's a wrestler called Cherry Bomb on the independent circuit. That's Allie. Now, a week later, Allie thought she was getting this big knockout celebration. Maria had Allie lay down, brought a ref in, pinned her, and now Maria's the Knockouts champion. So, which I'll be honest, made me the maddest I've been in a long time because I hate that shit in wrestling. I really do. I hate the lay down pin.
I will say this:
it bothers me.
It's better. It's better than $1 Million Man buying the championship.
Well, that's at least funny. This is $1 Million Man. I get that. The whole lay down thing was ridiculous, and when he tried to buy it, they vacated the belt. But now here's the thing:
if this was an official, if they made this an official match for the title, then it's.
Yeah.
Then they can't just vacate the title for it.
Well, they did. What they did was they told Maria that as long as you're Knockouts champion, you can't be in charge of the Knockouts division or have any authority over booking matches and things like that. So they've taken that power away from her. She has to lose the Knockouts championship in order to become once again the leader of the Knockouts division. And they've announced that at Bound for Glory, she has to defend the title against Gail Kim. So we're finally going to see Gail Kim versus Maria, which we were supposed to see at Slammiversary, but never happened. It will be a Bound for Glory for the Knockouts Championship.
I seriously hope that Maria's ready because Gail Kim is a hell of an athlete.
Yes. And she's also going into the Hall of Fame, TNA Hall of Fame as well.
She deserves it.
She
most definitely deserves it.
So she's going into the TNA Hall of Fame, and she has the potential to become a 6-time Knockouts champion.
Can we just talk about one more thing real quick?
Let's go ahead.
Hideo Itami. Finally using the go to sleep.
Yes.
Oh, I was so worried WWE was never going to let him do it.
Oh,
I was so worried.
Oh, I was too. I
saw the news. I saw the news clip of it. I'm like,
He used it at the last NXT Takeover show. When NXT Takeover Brooklyn, when Austin Aries beat No Way Jose, and then Austin Aries in the ring, all of a sudden Hideo Itami came out They had an exchange, and when he put Aries up on his shoulders, the roof exploded. And he just dropped the go to sleep. And I was so happy. I'm trying to figure out. I thought it was a big fuck you to CM Punk by WWE, which I think I saw it that way. Anyway.
Well, I mean, everyone knows it was his move first.
Yes, exactly.
And I think and Punk never denied anybody, where he got the move from. He didn't.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, bringing him in, I'm sure Punk knew eventually it was going to happen.
He would have to. It's his move. Like, you can't tell the man who originally invented the move, you can't do the move because you made it famous in a company that you don't even like anymore.
Right.
So why does he even care? He was too busy getting choked out by Mickey Gall.
I'm honestly not even certain that Punk knows that it happened. He's probably like, if somebody will call and say, so, what do you feel about Hideo Itami using the go to sleep? Who? Hey, tell him what his original name was. Oh! He's in WWE now?
They signed a star? What? They took a star from another company? They didn't try to build their own and shove it down the fans' throats or anything like that? No.
And they let him use a move that I was using?
That belonged to me? Like, what? He goes, you didn't know about this? I'm still trying to remember what I had for breakfast. Did you not just see the oxygen leave my head in that octagon? I tapped out in 2 minutes and 14 seconds. That's how long the fight was. And they made that match the fourth match on the card when that's the reason half the people bought the pay-per-view. Then you watch the main event fight, and I'm sorry. I know. Now look, I'm gonna say this by saying this. I am aware that I'm not a UFC fighter. You put me in the cage with a professional MMA fighter, I'm getting my ass kicked. I'm not pretending that. But based on what I saw in that main event, Overeem's a fucking pussy. I'm sorry. Are you kidding me? This dude, and I mentioned this before, but I'll say it because here, he, at one point, now look, I understand if somebody's punching you. Naturally, you move, you slip, you dodge. People say that's running away. No, that's dodging a punch. That's common sense. I throw a fist at somebody, I'm going to move my head.
Here's something that a lot of people don't realize. It takes a lot more energy to swing and miss than it does to swing and hit. You have to stop your arm from swinging if you don't hit something.
Yeah.
So if you dodge it and they keep pushing, they've got to keep pulling their body out. You're wearing them down. By
yeah, exactly. So he's kind of dodging the punches. But when you're blatantly running, like at one point the back was turned and he ran. I'm like,
I think that's a forfeit at that point.
I'm like, you're in a cage. This isn't like WWE where you climb out and get the UFC championship.
You seen that picture where it has CM Punk with a question looking quizzical and it says, "What do you mean I can't escape the cage?"
I remember that. So fucking brilliant. And here's the thing: when you knew Punk forgot he was in UFC, because when he starts off, he goes for the punch and he's standing straight up. Mickey Gall just flat out took him down with a double leg takedown. Like even in wrestling, they when I wrestled in school, they taught us knees bent, elbows in. So if someone shoots, you can stop it. But so anyway, and at one point during the match, Overeem is like he's fighting, but he's like jogging. He was jogging around in a circle. Like he was in fucking, like, you know, in gym class when the teacher tells you to warm up, he has us jog in a circle around the gym. Yeah. That's what he's doing. I'm like, this is a fight, you asshole. And at one point, fights actually get exchanged. At one point, Overeem's taken down. The guy goes, one, the second punch knocked Overeem out. You can see him, but he doesn't know that. So he goes through. So 4 punches in a row. The second one already knocked him out. So he's still punching. The ref eventually comes in.
No more.
The ref actually pushed the champion off of him. Well, he kind of goes in and goes, oh, no. He pushes him off because he realizes, stop, he's dead. It's like, and then calls it off and the guy retains the championship. That match, basically, they had 2 matches go the distance. Everything else went like a minute or 2 minutes, which of course begs the question, why do people order these UFC? How does UFC make money on pay-per-views? Why would you pay $60 to watch a match where half of them you can watch for free on fucking Instagram? I'm sorry. You can Instagram some of these fights, and it's like, I'm talking beginning to end.
Well, Are we talking about Ronda Rousey?
Yeah. I watched the Ronda Rousey fight on Instagram from bell to bell.
Here's the thing about this fucking single fight. At one point she was 12-0 at one point in UFC. All of her fights together didn't make up a single fucking championship fight.
She had 2 fights that went past the first round,
and
one of them she lost.
And all of them together. And it's like that last one didn't matter because that's not on the 12 that I'm counting here.
Yes,
and
I know.
Those 12 fights did not add up to the same amount of time as one fight going the distance.
Yeah.
That's how quick she was at taking these bitches out.
She was very good.
Which begs the question, why the fuck is she still not in professional wrestling? Come on! She says she wants to be there.
She says she wants to be there. They had an opportunity to sign to bring her in for WrestleMania.
Can you imagine Ronda Rousey in the women's division?
Yeah. I can imagine.
Look, I know she's never faked a fight in her life. So put her in NXT. Have her build up. But you know for a fact she makes an appearance in NXT. She's going to run through the roster.
She probably, at this point, other than Ember Moon, that's the only other person that can beat Asuka. Nobody else on that roster is realistically beating Asuka. Otherwise, you might just slap the face of every other NXT woman that got called up. Because that's the thing about Asuka now. She said, I cleaned out the women's division because they all got called up. She said, I cleaned out the division. So that's the only way I could see anything crazy like that happening. But I think I want to see her on the main roster. If she does, I think she might be the opponent for Nia Jax. I want to see Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax.
I want to see Ronda Rousey pick up and slam
Nia Jax. like a Hogan Andre kind of thing where she slams him. Where Nia Jax gets body slammed, taken off her feet.
And Matt, can you imagine? Ronda Rousey comes up with her. It's like she has to come up with some kind of crazy because most of Ronda's matches were won with a strike, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she had a couple of tap outs. I'm pretty sure a rear naked choke was her go-to.
It was the armbar.
Was it the armbar?
There was a special armbar she used to do.
Okay.
That was her primary move.
Okay.
That's why she did like an armbar like thing on Stephanie when she was in the ring. And then eventually
and she had those strikes as well.
Yeah.
And then she took out a lot of people with strikes. So imagine if she picked her up and did her own special strike finishing move.
Oh, that would be pretty.
On the Nia Jax. Nobody else stood a chance against her. But then Ronda Rousey picks the bitch up and beats the hell out of her.
Oh yeah, that would be painful. That would be very, very, very painful. I would love to see that.
All right. But anywho.
All right. Well, that, ladies and gentlemen, will wrap up this episode of the Boochcast for today. I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in live. I want to thank everybody listening in the archives. I want to thank Frank for calling in. I want to thank the appearance from Kevin Dunn. Obviously, he's pissed off. He thought Battle of the Shits was happening today. It's not, but I promise you guys, we're going to get in touch with Gators people. We're going to get in touch with Kevin Dunn's people. We're going to set a date. I'm going to have questions. Desmond will have questions. And we're going to give you part 2 of Battle of the Shits. So until next time, don't worry. We will be back on Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. West Coast time with a brand new episode of the Boochcast. Zach will be making another appearance here in the studio. We'll be discussing season 3 of Arrow. We will also be talking about Clash of Champions. And of course, Broken Gator will be making his appearance as well. And of course, next Friday on the Boochcast, I will give Desmond the floor to share his thoughts on the last 3 seasons of Arrow. Since he's only seen the first 3 seasons, he has not seen season 4, which is why I recommend do not tune into the October 3rd episode of the show. I'm giving
What day is that?
That is a Monday. Don't watch that show.
I work Mondays.
I know you work Mondays, but I'm saying if you may want to listen to the archives later, that's an episode I would not touch because it's going to have season 4.
I'm going to be honest with you. Unless you specifically say something crazy is about to happen on this episode, I'm not downloading shit.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
I already know I'm the entertaining one in the group, so.
Of course.
I'm sorry. Who wasn't on the highest rated Boochcast episode?
It was filming for Adult Swim. You suck. Anyway, until next time, this is Vinny and Desmond saying keep on living life and take care. This has been the Boochcast. I'll talk to you guys on Monday. if I'm still alive. I haven't cried myself to sleep. Right here on Blog Talk Radio and YouTube.
Mr. Clean out.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.